Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Tyler Cortland and Digby Beecham with you on the Sports Daily this morning, not too far away from catching up with our tipsters, Glenn Ingram, Chris Nelson and also Brad Davidson. But we haven't touched on the nominations, Diggers, for a big day of racing there at Ascot on Saturday, the Asian Bow, the Placid Arc Prelude and the Prince of Wales Stakes. The Asian Bows come up a cracker. And in good news for Neville Parnham, September Born will get a run.
I love it. We spoke about it earlier this week, didn't we, TC? Would he throw in a nomination? Why not? On the spin, it would be some sort of accomplishment if this horse was to win the Asian Bow and then book himself a berth in a railway. We know he's an entire. We know he's just dripping in quality, this horse. The return was terrific off one trial over 1,400 metres. The bar is seriously high in this race, but it will be fascinating to see what price he goes up this afternoon when Brad McManus releases the prices with Tab Touch. Is he single figures?
Is he single figures?
Is he single figures?
Beaten by Ashfold, second up. Who else might be in single figures?
Cosmic
You've got Lovett and War, Cosmic Crusader, Watch Me Rock. He might open single figures. I'm not sure he starts single figures.
No, that's the thing. I was looking at it last night. Like, you look at a horse like Watch Me Rock, he's going to be single figures, I would have thought. Yep. Cosmic Crusader, single figures.
Comes up with second widest draw.
Yes. Again, what does CJP elect to do in that race? So again, we're projecting, but Love and War will be in the market. I think Bonjoy will be in the market, but what do you do with September Born? Because he's going to burn some points should he win this, but he is going to be a Group 3 winning son of Playing God who is intact with a view to running in a Group 1 railway in 3 weeks' time.
Are you thinking, you're not thinking Rope Them In runs? 61 kilos drawn, 12 of 17 at this stage?
Yeah. I don't know. Steve Wolf hasn't announced or certainly hasn't named his riders at the moment. It would be a big ask, wouldn't it? He's not a big horse. We hear that all the time, don't we? That he's not a big horse.
No.
Do you want to, get him to carry that sort of weight, or do you maybe give him a tick over trial and then run him in a Colonel Reeves in a couple of weeks, if you are going to that Winterbottom?
Or if you want to try the 1,400 metres, there's the Lastia weight for age the week after.
Correct weight.
All right, so racing today from Bendigo over there in Victoria. Joining us on the Sports Daily now, Glenn Ingram. Glenn, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. Great to be with you. Yeah, we've got a great day here in Victoria for the Bendigo Cup, their feature meeting of the year. We're on a good 4 track. The rail is true. We've got 22 degrees, a little bit cloudy, but it's going to be a perfect day out there.
All right, looking forward to it. Glenn, good morning to you. Now, suggested bets, please, before we get your quaddie numbers.
Okay, our best bet's been scratched, so we've got a substitute in here, and that is in race 1. Number 10 will get the money early on Thanks Gorgeous, resuming for the Kavanagh stable. She has excellent form through a 2-year-old campaign, and her one and only Flemington jump out this campaign was very impressive and suggests to me that she's come back in great order for the new season. So the only dangers that I see are Russian Sky, who's a first starter, and also Somersault, another debutante. But just watch the market on those. Thanks Gorgeous finds a very good race and should be winning.
All right, that's Thanks Gorgeous. 2 starts ago behind Ole Dancer. That form reads all right, Glenn.
Yeah, it's really, hasn't it, shaped up perfectly for this horse. And yeah, I'd love the return jump out. It's always good to see them come back as 3-year-olds in just as better form.
Beautiful. Do you have a best value bet?
Well, I've got a next best, actually. Race 8, number 2, Fear No Evil. The blinkers gave her a spark in a recent Flemington jump out. She has super form for this contest. Nashra Willer and Gay Waterhouse combining here, and we know what they're like when they want to marry up on a horse that can go forward. So should be able to overcome the wide draw and be winning. The value play on the day comes up in race 6. Number 5, it's a wide open race. But a horse called Yaldi is a Group 2 winner in New Zealand. I think it was placed in a listed race over there. His form has been fair since arriving in Australia, but we see him for the first time first up here, and I loved what he did at the jump out. So I'm expecting a big run. Not sure how genuine he is as a racehorse, but at $16 to $17, I think we can have a 1x4 at the big odds.
All right, $17 currently with Tab Touch Yaldi. So I dare say Yaldi goes in your quaddie.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll work through the first leg here. The first leg, I've got the Yaldi in, obviously. Impressed at the jump outs. I've got it on top. It was first up from the spell. It's got a touch of class. I think it'll produce a big run today. Harry's Yacht, I think we can throw into the quaddie. He can race handy. He holds a win over Yeldy last preparation. He followed him round at the jump out. He's got a good draw. Scalado is another to catch the eye at the jump out. She's lightly raced. The form around her 3-year-old campaign is a bit of a query, so she's short odds. It's a little bit of a risk. Proved. Her chances increased now with the other Speed Influence Scratch and Trapeze Warrior jumped out strongly, as did Cuisine. So it's a wide open race. In my first leg of the quaddie, I've got 1, 3, 5, 6, 10 and 11.
All right, nice and wide. Can we narrow it down at all in the Bendigo Cup? It's race number 7 on the program. 2,400 metres, 3:10 the favourite. Quietness has to overcome. I think that's the outside draw, or the second outside draw.
Yeah, it's a really even contest, but I like Quietness here. I think the horse is really well named after that Coonji run. I think nobody missed it. It was a bit of a betting drift late, and look, I don't think the intent was there. It worked to the line nicely. Got too far back and just followed them around, really. I think if this is the target race, he's really well placed to strike here. God's Window is in his first Australian prep. He's suited rising in distance to 2,400. Sayes Sadati was just fair in the Bart Cummings, but that's proven to be a super form reference this spring. And Mark Twain is a very capable horse. The way he won the Roy Higgins at Flemington last year prior to the injury, I can't get that out of my head. So I reckon he's got it in him, and we can put him in the quaddie. My numbers are 4, 5, 6 and 11.
OK, the third leg is a benchmark 70, 1,300 metre event, Glenn. 5 minutes to 2 o'clock WA time. It has been littered with scratchings.
It sure has. Fino Evil's obviously my top selection, one of my better bets on the card. As I said, Gay Waterhouse and Nashville Willow, when they combine, they're very good. And we saw that with Spicy Little Caulfield a couple of weeks ago. He's got 3 rides today. This is his best chance. I didn't have him in my top 4 selections originally because she's just so hit and miss. She can win, but she could probably finish last too. So the scratchings of my other selections mean she goes in. Pental Bay has to go into the quaddie for insurance. He's a first-up imported horse for Ma. I couldn't push him off the jump-outs, but he could certainly surprise. My numbers are 2, 4 and 10 in the third leg.
All right, race number 9 on the program. Clearly the final leg of the quaddie. Just the 2 scratchings, numbers 5 and 15. And Big Sexy is the favourite at $2.50.
Yeah, look, we're going to anchor Big Sexy because we've gone wide to get here. He's a very progressive horse. He resumed with a dominant win at benchmark 70 level. That was just his third career start. It gives me the impression he's got more upside. That win rated okay. It was nothing special. But what he does here is he meets a few of his more seasoned competitors who are probably not at their top. And I think he can win again with a positive ride on or trailing the speed. And I suspect it's probably going to be a good place to be today. It's really the only one I'm considering for the quaddie, and we'll take it one out, number 11. OK, number 11, one out in the quaddie numbers there, or in the quaddie there on Bendigo Cup Day for Glenn Ingram. Glenn, we were just chatting earlier about Buckaroo, who is a confirmed starter in the Melbourne Cup. Where does he sit in the picture in your eyes? Yeah. Look, I might be, I might have a differing view. I'm not sure how genuine he is. I thought he had every chance to go past V. Sistina in the Cox Plate. Wasn't able to reel her in. Was only beating a long neck. So I can see why punters like him. I can't get that first up. Was it the first up run against Sid Elias at Caulfield? Yep. Yeah, when Sid Elias fought back, I don't think that's a great sign for me as a racehorse. I think he had his opportunity to win that day. Sid Elias might have been maybe too good, but I'm not considering Buckaroo on Cup Day.
Have you had a bit of luck in the Melbourne Cup over the years, Glenn?
I have, yes. I had a horse run third a few years ago, a horse called High Emotion. Bumped into a rampaging Gold Trip. Was unfortunate. That horse was so impressive, wasn't he, that day? And she ran a ripper. She obviously won the Bendigo Cup. This was her lead-in race. She won that, and then we were lucky enough to get a start. And, it was one of the best days I've had on a racecourse.
Now, we were talking earlier also, Glenn, I think it was 2006, Taylor mentioned the crowd the day that Efficient won the Derby. 129,000 were on hand at Flemington. Now, we're never, ever getting back to that, and I know you're more a form analyst than a crowd predictor, but what are we thinking they would get there Saturday? The forecast from this side of the country appears to be kind.
Yeah. Well, there is a bit of a mixed feeling about these forecasts. I saw one report saying we could get up to 50 mils for the week. I'm not sure about that. I think that might be throwing a dart. look, I reckon we'll get 80 to 90,000.
Yep.
And I think, fellas, I don't know about you, but I think that musician they've got booked for the end of the meeting, Fisher, is a big draw card. Like, I'm 48 years old, but I've got teenage daughters and they love it. And
right.
I think he's going to add a bit of. He's a big get for him, and he's expensive. I know that through one of my contacts. He's expensive, so hopefully he brings a few to the races.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully they don't take the running rail away from Flemington though after Champions Day.
You Melburnians.
Yeah, we're going to need that.
Pull your heads in.
We'll need that a little bit later on, Glenn. So if you could just organise that.
They're lucky it wasn't a union site. They would have needed a smoke out.
Cue Mick Gatto. Hey, great to chat, Glenn. We'll do it all again on Friday.
All the best, boys. Cheers.
The Sports Daily presents Chris Nelson with his look at Queensland racing.
How you going, Chris?
Going very well, thanks, Taylor. Good morning to you. Good morning, Digby.
Good morning, Chris. Any of your relatives pinch anything at Moonee Valley on Saturday?
I would have.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
They haven't sold you a running rail?
Haven't seen anything arrive via the post as yet, but you never know. Never know.
Victorians.
Funny times,
Fair dinkum.
No, I've alienated myself from Victorian, yeah. So I'm not a Victorian. In fact, I wasn't even born there, Digby.
So where were you born?
Adelaide. I was born in Glenelg, Tiger Territory.
Glenelg boy.
Really?
Glenelg, yep, I was.
Which state in Australia haven't you lived?
I don't know, but I'm not trying anywhere else. This will do me just fine.
Now,
although Perth, they tell me Perth's very nice. But,
just the people are dodgy.
So you grew up watching
likely.
Graham Corns, did you?
No, he's a bit before my time, but I know the name. But considering I left Adelaide when I was about 2, probably can't say I saw much going on there. So there you go.
Now, seriously, Chris, you had some rain over the weekend. Is that right?
We did, finally. No, we had some rain yesterday. We had 50-odd mils of rain in some areas of Brisbane yesterday, and that was most welcome. So we are stuck now today with a heavy 9 track, and they're saying it's a heavy 10 in the Chute area. Now, interestingly, they had 24 mils of rain up until 4 p.m. yesterday, and it was a heavy 9. And they had another 24, 25 plus, and it stayed a heavy 9. So I've got a little bit of a doubt. It might be a bit worse than a heavy 9. But we will see once we get underway. But as you'd expect, a ton of scratchings.
Okay, we are proceeding on a 13 then, it would seem, now at Doomben. Can we get some suggested bets, please?
Yeah, look, not a lot of value there, and a couple of the tips that I did like have come out due to the scratchings, or come out due to the track, sorry. So we'll go with these. Race 4, number 2, San Gabriel. Now, we only have a field of 5 going around here. Easy Love, number 3's come up favourite, which does surprise me. I thought San Gabriel looked very well placed, considering the ground. 2 starts on heavy for 2 placings, is a soft track winner. Has had 2 runs back from a break, Eagle Farm 7th and a Doomben 5th behind Gambino. Wasn't far away last time out. I would just think the 1,600 or the step to 1,600 metres is ideal, considering he's won 1 race and it was over 1,600 metres. So he looks well placed. So I'm surprised he's not favourite, but he's not at this stage. He may be by the time they jump, but I think he's well placed. Race 4, number 2, San Gabriel.
That's at $3 with Tab Touch.
Yep. Race 6, horse number 4, Sir Cal. Another one that looks as though he'll get through the ground well. 2 starts on heavy for a win. Now, that win came at the Sunny Coast going back second run last preparation, won by 3 lengths, so won quite clearly there. First up record's good. Ran second on debut at Doomben behind Creativity Miss, charging to the line late on a soft 7. And then first up last preparation, 3rd at Eagle Farm, again running on well in a race that didn't really suit on a soft 7. So it looks one that really will get through the ground here. We've had a couple of important scratchings with Autumn Girl and Balance the Books both scratched. So for me, number 4, Sir Cal, looks very well placed in race 6 today.
Okay, do you have another one, or are we advancing to the quaddie?
No, that's about it. Look, there is one in the first that I think should win, but he's around $1.60, $1.70, and that's Tommy Thug. What a great name for a horse coming out of Ireland. Tommy Thug. He's second at Hawkesbury last start in a maiden, was more than good enough to get away with this, but you have to take a short price.
All right, let's get your quaddie numbers then, please, sir.
All right, quaddie numbers. First leg, race 5. We're going to put the whole 4 runners in here, 1, 8, 6 and 2. Second leg, we'll go 4, 1 and 9. Third leg, 3, 8, 7 and 9. And in the final leg, we'll come home with numbers 7, 3, 11 and 6. So going a little bit wide with some of those legs today.
All right, 1862 419 3879 7, 3, 11 and 6.
Spot on.
Excellent. All right, lovely, Chris.
I loved the speed in which you read them out, Chris.
It was perfect. Now
I'm getting better.
You, yeah,
Just in time.
just in time. Yeah, exactly. All right, Chris. Now we'll chat to you on Friday. We're doing a pre-record. Is that right?
That is correct. I've got a busy day Friday, guys. I've got a very important golf game I have to play, so we'll have to do a pre-record.
Priorities. How are you hitting them? Hitting them
At least
right?
I'm honest.
Yeah,
okay,
true.
yep. Not too bad. Not too bad at the moment. Need to get that handicap up a bit. It's a bit too low for what I actually am capable of, I think, guys. So there you go.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to have a chat to you on Friday, Chris. Enjoy Doomben today.
Yeah, have a great day, guys. Chat then.
There's Chris Nelson. We'll hear from him on Friday. Brad Davidson joins us on the Sports Daily. Brad, a very good morning to you.
Morning, guys. How are we?
Very well. How's weather there in Sydney?
Yeah, raining. I think the tennis game will be called off tonight. So, yes, constant drizzle, and I think we'll be on a soft track of some degree today, so we'll see how that progresses. But just constant drizzle all morning, and I think it looks like it's set in all day. So, look, rail out 8 can be a bit up and in, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the day as well.
6 races on the program. The race meeting only goes for 3 hours. So where do we start with bets, Brad?
Yeah, race 3, number 8, Silver Nido, we'll start with. Look, I think he should be favourite here. I thought Sevens, I know, gets J-Mac and whatnot, but he's just been going okay this prep. Sevens, he's been a bit disappointing the last couple, and I thought Silver Nido was good last time behind Rock Empire in a race that rated pretty well. He was wide prior to that behind Idle Fly. That form's just been franked time and time again. That horse is flying. It handles all ground, so wet track's fine, and I'm just hoping he can push forward early, get into a spot, and from there, I thought he'd be hard enough to beat. So race 3, number 8, Silver Nido, the first one.
The second one, please.
Yeah, the second one, race 5, number 8, Nanette, who's a filly, a really well-bred filly, resuming for Team Hawk. She won a Wyong maiden going back on May 8 on a heavy 9 beating Louisburg, and look, just bolted in that day, ran really good time. I think she's come back a better horse. Her recent trial was in very, very fast time, easily the quickest heat of the morning. And I just thought she might be able to cross from out wide there, get to the front, be very hard to beat. Strata Verena looks your danger. Does draw a couple inside, so, might kick up and try to hold her out. But I think if she gets to the front, I think she's got a bit too much speed and will be very hard to beat. Race 5, number 8, Nanette. The second one for me today at Rosehill Gardens.
Do you like one in the last, or would we like to kick onto the quaddie?
I'll give you one outside of Rosehill.
Yes.
Race 1, number 10 at Murray Bridge today. Probably the keenest trialer I've been for some time. Look, it's been, I think, about $2.80 into $1.90 this morning, but it's another battle. Its trials have been sensational. I think it'll go straight to the front at Murray Bridge today, and I think it'll gap them.
Okay, a Harry Angel filly there. So looking forward to that, as Brad quite rightly mentioned, been heavily supported this morning. So looking forward to that. Now, your quaddie numbers, please, Brad.
Yeah, quaddie at Rosehill today, 7, 8 and 9 in the first leg, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2 and 6 in the second leg, 4, 6 and 8 in the third leg, and 2, 5, 9 and 14 in the last leg there today at Rosehill.
2, 5, 9 and 14 in the final leg to follow. 7, 8 and 9. Second leg, 1, 2 and 6. Third leg, 4, 6 and 8. And then wrapping it up with 2, 5, 9 and 14. Thank you very much, Brad. Are we at this early stage in the corner of autumn glow for the Golden Eagle?
We'll be trying to find something to beat her. I think, she did only beat Fully Lit the other day, and time was solid, but it wasn't out of the world. So, I don't know. It's always hard to line up these Japanese horses, Penja Tower, and but I'll be certainly trying to find something to beat her. I think she's really well cuddled by the market, so we'll have a look at that this afternoon. But, yeah, I think I'll be trying to find a way around her, that's for sure.
Reviewing the last start win of Linebacker, was that as impressive on the clock as it was to the eye?
Yeah, look, he was good, wasn't he? I don't think he beat a lot, but he smashed him. He sat wide, and I remember looking him in the yard that day, and he looked the best parader all day, including all the Everest horses. So I think he's airborne and right set up 1,500 round week. I think he'll run a big race for sure.
All right. Thank you very much, Brad. We'll catch up soon.
Good on you guys. Chat soon. Cheers.
There's Brad Davidson from braddavidson.com.au, of course. So their Murray Bridge race 1, number 10, $1.90 fixed odds tab touch. It's another battle. Lauren Stojakovic.
Yeah, back in the saddle. Took some time away, a few years, didn't she?
First time since, am I right in saying 2017?
17, yeah, exactly right. So nearly a decade out of the saddle. And she
did Miracles of Life in the Blue Diamond.
Oh, around...
That's testing your memory.
It is testing my memory. That was a great story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great story. Yeah, great to see back. Great to see back.
Okay, well, there's a story here online, 10 years on, and the story was written in 2023. So I'd imagine, if my maths is right, it'd be 2013.
12 years ago. Miracles of Life. Yep.
Gave it an absolute peach on that occasion.
Yeah, she did. Jumped and ran. Yeah, no, spot on. Looking forward to seeing that one go around because clearly Brad's not the only person who's on that horse.
No, exactly right. All right, we'll get out to the roads and then Shayne Williams, he assures us he's fixed out his phone problem, so we'll be able to get him on the line after this.
On the Sports Daily, the Shayne train's coming into the station. Here's Shayne Williams with his winners for tonight's WA Greyhound Racing.
So we got a text message late yesterday, Diggers, from the great man, the Shayne train, and he said that the issue was charging his phone. His phone wouldn't charge. Therefore, it went dead and we couldn't call him yesterday.
No, I saw that message. I was disappointed in Shayne yesterday. I didn't respond.
Flabbergasted?
Yeah, I was just disappointed that he wouldn't speak to us. But that's okay. We'll see what he says now.
Good morning, Shayne.
Yeah, good morning, boys. How are we? Apologies for yesterday, and there's reasons out of my control yesterday. So,
have you got a new phone?
No, I haven't yet. No, I will be getting one. But I'll just tell them so off air. Like, I'm not up to date with all this modern technology stuff. When I get a new phone, I've got to do everything manually, like put numbers across and all the apps go and you lose your password. So it's not a favourite pastime of mine. But no, the phone wouldn't charge. And I said to Sophie just then, I tried different plugs, different cords. I tried to jam them in different angles. You could imagine me. I was losing my stuff last Tuesday night.
What's the most important? What's the most important app you have on your phone, Shayne?
Probably Tab Touch. I have to say that.
Good answer.
I thought we were going a different direction there for a minute.
Nah, there's plenty there, but yeah. It was a nightmare. And like I said, I went and got a wireless charger.
Yeah, they're good.
And they're about as slow as some of my dogs. They go up 3% in 30 minutes. So
I think you've bought a dud one.
Yeah, I might have to go back and get a better quality one because 3% in 30 minutes, boys, not good enough.
No, yeah, very emotional you are at the moment. So we'll just get your selections for Cannington this evening, please.
Yeah, just before the phone dies.
Yeah. We'll kick it off tonight, boys. Race 7, number 1, Trunky Bling. Don't mind the map here for Trunky Bling. Draws the inside box with a few moderate beginners to her outside. I thought she could almost punch up and lead here. Was a winner 2 starts back from the squeeze draw at Mandurah, leading all the way in 17.23. So looks a good hope tonight to take it out at nice odds. Race 7, number 1.
All right, with Tab Touch, that's at $5. Trunky Bling. Where's the second one?
Yeah, 9-1 West on model. She's going great guns at Mandurah, but she needs to bring that form to town. She's had the 7 attempts here without a victory, but I just thought she drew the red and is full of confidence off them back-to-back wins at Mandurah and what looks a very winnable race. I think she'll be hard to beat. 9-1 West on model.
Okay, and do we play 10, 11 or 12?
12. We want to keep people up betting on this Kennington program. Diggs race 12, number 2, Dancing Dennis, stepping up to the 381-metre trip after a very fast win of the 275-metre journey in 1585. He clocked last week, and that victory, he was nailed to the rail. That when he won that, he knocked me off, so I know that well and truly. He has a PB here of 21.73, and even though he's not getting any younger, he's still racing great heart, this dog. Race 12, number 2, Dancing Dennis, to finish us off.
He'd be the best?
Yes. He's the best. Race 12, number 2, Dancing Dennis.
Okay, Dancing Dennis, the best of those three. But race 7, number 1, race 9, number 1, race 12, number 2, Dancing Dennis. Shayne, thank you. We'll let you get back to your phone. Hopefully it's 100% operational tomorrow and we'll get your selections then.
Yeah, a little bit of rain outside, so a little bit delayed this morning. But again, apologies for yesterday, boys.
That's
and
all right, mate.
It shouldn't happen again
you.
with the wireless stock.
You golfing today?
Yeah, we are. Yep.
Good day for
the rain stops. Yeah.
Oh,
are you?
No, not today. Not today.
Don't hit the range then, mate. See ya.
All right.
Yeah, well. Anyway, Shayne.
I had more fun yesterday talking to him.
Yeah, exactly right. So our tipsters there, Glenn Ingram, his best on Bendigo Cup Day, race 1, number 10, Thanks Gorgeous. He was also keen about the prospects of Fear No Evil in race 8, number 2. Chris Nelson's best, race 4, number 2, San Gabriel. Also likes race 6, number 4, Sir Cal. That's at Doomben on a heavy track. Brad Davidson, Rose Hill, soft surface today. Race 3, number 8, Silvanito. And race 5, number 8, Ninette. And you just heard from Shayne. His best of 3 there at Cannington this evening comes up in the last. Race 12, number 2, Dancing Dennis.
All right, so Shayne's given us 7-1 at $5, 9-1 at $2.10 and at 12-2 at $2.10. Brad Davidson also liked one at Murray Bridge, race 1 at number 10 at $1.90. So that's our tipsters. Hopefully we'll find a couple of winners on this Wednesday. Of course, we've got the preview for Belmont coming up after 8 o'clock. Scott Embry, unfortunately, our late scratching, but the blog, we do have his best diggers and the listeners are taking him on.
Race 7, number 11, Rain Line.
All right, so we're taking Scott on for a chance to win a $100 Tab Touch voucher by the end of the week. Last week's winner was Patrick.
Okay, well done, Patrick.
And we'll have a chat very, very shortly with Racing Victoria's Paul Bloodworth, try and get a little bit of an insight into some of these international runners heading towards the Melbourne Cup, how it's all going. I wonder if he was there in, what did I say, 2006, when there was 129,000 people on track. Paul, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Morning, guys. How are you both?
Very well. Were you one of the 129,000 at Flemington on Derby Day in 2006, Paul?
You know what? I actually wasn't. I was working in New South Wales at that time, but I do remember the commentary about it at the time, and it wasn't long after that the VRC capped the amount of tickets that they'd sell through Cup Week. So, yeah, it's a fair while ago now, but yeah, no, I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Do you think there's a possibility we get to 100,000 this year on any of the days?
Look, Cup Day would be the day if any of them reach that level. Unfortunately, the weather doesn't look like it's going to be kind to us on Cup Day. There's a bit of rain around on both Monday and Tuesday. Temperature's going to be quite warm on the weekend here, but then drop quite dramatically Monday and then even lower on Tuesday. So, you know, what normally happens when that happens is you have a few people who stay at home that might have otherwise gone. So, look, I'd be hopeful that we would get 100,000. You know, racing's going really well down here at the moment. Really good vibe about the spring so far. Come to a great Caulfield Carnival. You know, sad to see the Valley go last week, but looking forward to the new track in a couple of years' time. And so, yeah, it's been a great springboard into the Flemington Cup Carnival. So, look, hopeful, I would say, yeah, it would be. I guess the only thing is Derby Day, the weather is looking a bit better. So I guess potentially people could switch and move their attendance to Derby Day. But, look, I would say we'd be looking at, 80,000 plus for both Derby and Cup, and hopefully a really big crowd on Champions Day as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Looking forward to all 3 days that you just mentioned there, Paul. And I dare say you, along with a lot of people over there in Victoria, are happy to see that Buckaroo is going to be a Melbourne Cup starter.
Well, I must admit I hadn't heard that news confirmed. I had been talking to one of his owners, Aussie Kier, during the week about the prospect of him heading to the Melbourne Cup again, but that's great if they've made their mind up and going there because, yeah, he's obviously one of the better performed horses in Australia at the moment. Not winning, but certainly running fantastic races, as we saw last week in the Cox Plate, and And horses generally that run well in the Cox Plate tend to run well in the Melbourne Cup. They've overperformed in recent history. I think they're, 4 times the participation rate. They're winning Melbourne Cup. So I guess his probably challenge is actually the distance. He's definitely capable at 1.5 miles, but the 2 mile might be a little bit too far for him. But fantastic that Aussie and Chris have decided to go that way, and it'll just add another dimension to what's shaping up to be a fantastic race.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, of course. We've got El Riffer at the top of the market. We'll catch up with Jamie Lovett a little bit later on in the program. But a horse like Presage Nocturne came out in the Caulfield Cup. Paul, you obviously follow these international horses probably more so than a lot of people. What can we expect from him in a Melbourne Cup?
Well, his run at Caulfield was fantastic. Came from well off the speed, which I don't think was necessarily the plan. I just think the way that race shaped up with Adelaide River getting a hold of Jordan Childs and taking off at about 1,000, left a few flat-footed, including some of the international runners, but he really hit the line well. And he actually did it. I'm out at Werribee at the moment, and he just did a really nice piece of work today. And I think that'll probably be the last little bit of work he does on the grass here. We've topped him off nicely, I think, for the Melbourne Cup. So, and his, and I sort of may have said this the last time I was talking to you guys. He's a horse that, best form is over sort of 3,000 metres plus. Is won in France over that distance and placed at Group 1 level. So he'll appreciate the step up and trip, and he will also appreciate any rain that's around as well, because his last win was on soft ground in France. So, I think he's going in with an undeniable chance. I'd probably say of the horses out here, he'd probably be my number one pick at the moment.
Okay, Paul, just on those horses when they are domiciled there at Werribee, and no doubt you know what you're looking at in regards to horseflesh, how do you want to see them at this stage of their build-up towards Tuesday in terms of their coat, their work, or are you sort of getting the information that you need via the connections?
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and I don't pry too much with the teams as to how the horse is going. But, yeah, definitely coat is one, because obviously they've changed hemispheres. If their coat has stayed in the northern hemisphere, that can be a little bit of a worry. And a horse like Vauban is a good example of that. The last 2 years that he came, his coat just never came through while he was here, and it was always a bit of a worry for the stable. But look, you really just want them to see them out on the track, exercising each day. Some trainers fall into the trap here of taking it very easy with their horses, and generally speaking, the trainers that do that, the horses don't tend to run that well. But all the horses here have, pretty much from their first few days that they were here, have stepped up their work. Some have had a run, of course, in the Caulfield Cup and the Moonee Valley Cup. But the others, even the ones that were on our second flight that have sort of came out of quarantine today, they've all been doing pretty serious pieces of work. We had Mark Zara down here today to ride El Riffer. Michael D was out yesterday to ride a horse called Further for Andrew Balding. So, yeah, they're all stepping up their work. So, and as it is, knock on wood, there's no issues whatsoever with any of the horses out here, and they're all looking really good. So, expecting some of them, all of them won't run well, of course, but some of them to run really well on Tuesday.
So what did you make of the work that El Riffer did this morning?
Oh, look, Joseph's training style is probably a little bit different to many others. They do 2 canters a day, one quite slow canter on the grass, and they step it up and go a little bit quicker. His horses are going to do a piece of work on Friday to top them off for the Melbourne Cup. But, yeah, they don't ever do any real fast work like a lot of Australian trainers and a lot of the overseas trainers that have been here. They sort of ramp up their work as they get closer to the race. And as I said, they'll do their fastest piece of work since they've been here on Friday. So it was really just an exercise today, I think, for Mark to get a feel of the horse and know what he had under him. And I spoke to him post the work, and he was very happy. So he's clearly a very talented horse. So nothing to be expected. He's not the flashiest track worker, but Mark was happy with what he had under him. And and again, if we get any rain, that will bring him right into the race, El Riffer. I think he's effective on top of the ground, but he would be really effective if we got some rain on Melbourne Cup Day and he got soft ground.
Paul, two-part question. Can he carry the weight and win the Melbourne Cup, Al Riffer, and how does he compare to some of the horses that Joseph has brought down here previously and had success with?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, it's very hard to carry that weight in the Melbourne Cup. Very few have done it. Recent history has seen sort of horses higher up in the weights win the Cup, like Gold Trip carried 57.5 on a 50 limit. Very Elegant, I think, had 57 when she won. So it has changed a little bit, and horses up in the weights have been able to be competitive the last few years. But I just feel that, and I guess that's why I was talking about the ground probably being the most important part for Al Riffer. I think if we ended up with a good 4 on Tuesday, I'd probably think something down in the weights might just be a bit too strong for him on the day. But if he gets his preferred soft ground, and there'll be a lot of horses that don't want soft ground on the day, I think that's his best chance. So, So I don't. He's a big, strong horse. I don't think the weight necessarily will cause him any issues. I just think that he's got the challenge that something a progressive horse, like a horse like the 3-year-old Further, who's only got 52 kilos. When it comes to it in the home straight, that might be a telling subject. And look, we've had several Irish St. Leger winners come to Melbourne to compete in the Melbourne Cup after winning the Leger, and some have run well, like Vinnie Rowe, Yates, other horses like that, but just haven't been able to win. So it is a challenge, but it's fantastic that we've got Al Riffer here, and it's brilliant that Joseph's taken on the challenge with him.
We've touched on Further a couple of times. Is he good enough to win a Melbourne Cup?
Oh, it's a good question. I mean, look, I think his win in the Jeffrey Freer 2 starts back was very impressive, and he beat a horse that I thought for a long time was actually going to come here for the Melbourne Cup this year, called Epic Poet, and he's a well-travelled stayer in Europe and raced overseas with success. So he's a good guideline, and he really won that very impressively. And the key to him was he'd run the start before at Newmarket behind Scandinavia and led that day and dropped out quite dramatically and ran poorly. But at Newbury, they held him up from the back, and he really showed a great turn of foot. So I think that's the way they now have to ride him. And then he ran in the English St. Leger, and that day it rained for about 2 hours before the race, and the ground went from good to firm to soft. And he travelled really beautifully in the race, but when the time came to make his move, and Ocean Murphy rode the horse, you could just see, and it's certainly what Murphy said post-race, that he just didn't let down on the soft ground. So probably critical for him is that the ground is okay on Tuesday. But yeah, and look, Northern Hemisphere 3-year-olds that get in with that lightweight and come here generally run well. They don't always win, but obviously had 2 Northern Hemisphere winners in Rekindling and Cross Counter. But there's been other 3-year-olds over the journey that have run well without winning as well. So just that alone, I think will hold him in good stead. And he's a lovely horse, really stepped into his work here, and it was a great piece of work yesterday with Michael on, worked with the American Horse Parchment Party. So he's ticking all the boxes, but I do think probably the ground for him is going to be the most important thing, because he clearly doesn't act as well on it.
Would you fall off the chair that you'll be sitting on Tuesday if half yours wins the Melbourne Cup, Paul?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he's got an undeniable chance. I mean, he's probably in the same boat as many others that the 2 mile is his challenge. I wouldn't say he screamed 2 mile, a horse that'll get 2 miles winning the Caulfield Cup. He got to them well, but he wasn't sort of drawing away from them on the line, and there was others in behind him, probably like Valiant King and Passage Nocturne and even Maidan, that were really extending through the lines. So good, he's clearly got to be a chance. And the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup relationship has returned in the last few years. It's been the form that you want going into the race normally, when over the probably last 10 or 15 years it had changed a little bit. So yeah, and he's still relatively well weighted, I think. Even with the penalty that he got out of the Caulfield win. So I think, obviously in good form, Tony and Calvin have done an amazing job with him, bringing him from benchmark level earlier in the year to a Group 1 winner. I guess the question for him now is whether he can just extend to that 2-mile trip. But I would say his sire, St. Jean or St. John or whatever it is a sire of many very good jumpers here in Melbourne, who will obviously all race over 2 mile or further. So, potentially in his bloodlines, the 2 mile won't be any issue. But yeah, just from my observation from his win at Caulfield, I think probably there's a query there on whether the 2 mile will suit him.
I'm sure there's a couple of more we could ask you about, Paul, but just before we let you go, just your tip at the moment?
My tip at the moment would be Presage Nocturne. I've been really bullish about him from the start. I just had a feeling that his runs in France were really good, but they were in really slowly run races, and I was looking forward to seeing him in a Australian staying race with a bit more tempo. I think we saw that in the Caulfield Cup, and it really suited him. So, and again, for a horse that is better suited over the longer trip, I just think, and everything he's done since has been really good, and everything going like clockwork for the team. So, I just think, and again, if he gets if there's some rain around Monday, Tuesday, I think that'll really suit him. So he'd be the tip for me at the moment. But yeah, there's many others out here at Werribee that I think will potentially run well and would have undeniable chances as well.
Paul, a wonderful summation. Thank you so much for your time, not only this morning but in the lead up to the Melbourne Cup. Enjoy next Tuesday.
No worries, guys. Yeah, looking forward to a fantastic week next week, kicking off with Derby Day on the weekend. So should be an awesome week.
There's Paul Bloodworth from Racing at Victoria. Absolutely awesome to get his thoughts on a lot of those international horses that we might not know too much about. We'll also catch up with Jamie Lovett not too far away on the Sports Daily to chat about our Riffer. I will say a little bit of a change I hope happens with the Melbourne Cup next year is, we spoke about it a touch yesterday, the transparency with the scans. And if a horse has been scanned, we immediately know about it and the results are made public. Therefore, if you are betting into the Melbourne Cup, you know where you stand with your horse.
Yeah, well, exactly right. We need as much transparency in the industry, and I think we're in a really good space in that area. Are there improvements that could be made? Most definitely. But as long as those improvements are made, you can bet with confidence.
Yep.
And you know that you're being fully armed with all the relevant information. There's a lot of information which you just push to one side. But if you're getting all the facts and figures, and you're getting all the insight, veterinary, stable, does not matter what it is. But the more you can get, the more you can come up with a calculated decision as to what you want to wager on.
Because that turnover dollar keeps the industry ticking over.
Yep.
And I think that can be lost sometimes with some parts of racing. We forget that fact, but looking after the punters is one of the key factors. And hopefully going forward after, obviously, the unfortunate events this year, and I say unfortunate events, the fact that Sir Delius wasn't past fit, and there would have been a fair few multis going through there, and I don't know if punters put the bet on not knowing that he had to be scanned or where he was at that scanning process, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to get to the race. But as Paul explained there's still a lot of live hopes, and at the moment we've got 9 horses under $20. I think there's a case to be made for all 9 of those to be winning chances.
So our Riffer, Half Yours, Valiant King, Buckaroo, Presage Nocturne, Maydan, One Smooth Operator, Absurd, and River of Stars.
Yep. I think they could all win. Probably Buckaroo, the outside chance of that group.
What do you do with One Smooth Operator? $15 with Tab Touch off what he did the other evening.
I think at that price, I think I said he was a bet yesterday.
Any concerns that it's a relatively quick spin from last Friday to next Tuesday? He's an 8-year-old.
No, he loves Australia.
Yeah,
his last 2 career wins have both been in Australia, Geelong and then at Moonee Valley.
Isn't it amazing, some of these horses, when they come down here, and it was a really good point that Paul made about Vauban, never shifted the coat in the manner that you would have liked, yet there are other horses that come down here and they just race out of their absolute skin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll be able to get an update very shortly on our Riffer. We'll catch up with Jamie Lovett on the other side of the news bulletin here on the Sports Daily.
Maytag Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
All right, the Sports Daily on this Wednesday morning, the 29th of October. As we mentioned, Jamie Lovett not too far away. We'll also catch up with Mickey Grantham and also Chris Gangemi. Looking forward to the weekend races there at Ascot on Saturday. We spoke a little bit about the nominations there for the Asian Bow. We've also got the Placid Arc Prelude. Pemberton and Kawara come out at the moment, so it's a full field of 16 as we sit here, and it's a nice field, Diggers, if they all go around. Yeah. Do I feel lucky? He's the top weight drawn wide, so he was dual nominated, so whether or not he goes around in this race, yet to be seen. We've got Castle Road, Baby Pearl returns, Swingman, impressive, Twisted Steel, hopefully gets back to some of his best. Rostislav first up was very good. Yes Queen, Luana Miss, Elite Bow. Good race.
It's a terrific race, and you just mentioned a couple of horses there who are on-speed animals and they've drawn wide. Probably don't have any other option but to go forward and try to find a spot all over the speed end or hit the rail if possible, if. But, gee whiz, it's a really good assemblement of our 3-year-old crop, our sprinting 3-year-olds, no question at all. It's a terrific race.
And then you've got the Prince of Wales on Saturday as well, over the 1,000 metres. Field of 11 at this stage. Castle Road in this field as well. So dual nominated there. Joker's Grin, Oscar's Fortune back. Yeah. Snowdome, Rockanori will speak to Chris. Boots Like Bruce, Hanchy, Repossession, Cut the Talk, Kripolenko, Smooth Chino. Excited to see Smooth Chino back at the races. Yeah, whether he goes there or on a ratings race, we'll have to wait and see. But certainly the headline act in this race is Joker's Grin. He's drawn 10 of 11, so he's going to be out wide, which I don't think is a bad thing for him over 1,000. He'll be able to wind up, and whether he can run down the leaders, that remains to be seen. I think the market will expect that he does so, but he's had the 2 trials. Great chat with Paddy Carberry yesterday. He gave an excellent insight to how the horse is placed this time in. He's a bit more advanced physically and also emotionally. So that presents a pretty scary prospect, I would have thought, for his opposition. He'll be a pretty short price favourite. Oh, yeah, he'll be odds on. Upon opening 1,000 metres, no worries at all. And then you've got the weight for age scale. So it all works in his favours for Joker's Green. Indeed it does. So Castle Road, the 3-year-old, 53.5, was nommed also for a ratings race on Saturday, as well as the Placid Arc Prelude. I think he came up with an excellent gate in the 72 plus 1,000. So, look, he only gets 5 kilos off Joker's Grin here under the weight for age scale of the Prince of Wales. If it was a handicap, he'd be getting 17.5. So, logic says that Paul Jordan will probably look to an easier assignment than this one. All right, so that's a look at the features there at Ascot. The nominations, of course, final field's around 10:30 this morning, and then the market for those features will be out early afternoon. Yeah. I think the rest of the program may be out a little bit later today, if not early tomorrow morning with Tab Touch. Have your say. If you heard the chat with Paul Bloodworth, maybe you've already had a bet on the Melbourne Cup, let us know. 0427 789 571. Snoz's text in. He's said Perth racing, but more so WA racing, I dare say. First 3 races today, only 7 starters, and it is springtime. No excuse, says Snoz. Well, Snoz, I would say there's racing coming out of your eyeballs next week. Correct, so. Snoz, yeah. I think that would be it. So, look, you're right. We'd like ideally bigger fields than what we've got today, but not only have we had a fair bit of racing at this stage of the season, we're about to get a heap more. And you mentioned Saturday. Sunday, we've got the opening at Albany. Yep. And then we know Snoz Tuesday, Geraldton, Bunbury, Ascot. Yep. I think we're at Northam next Thursday as well, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So there is plenty of racing upcoming. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll make that up for sure. I was driving and missed the Eastern States tips, so I can get them from somewhere else, please. That's on X if you are looking for all those tips from Glenn Ingram, Chris Nelson and Brad Davidson. Quaddy numbers and suggested bets throughout the day. Of course, Bendigo Cup Day today. Greg L's text in on the Retrovision text line. If the Eagles don't take Cooper Duff Tyler with one of their first 2 picks, then I might hand my membership back. Oh. Surely he's worth a crack, knowing the ruck position is one of the biggest deficiencies on our list. It's a no-brainer in my eyes. Okay. So he's a ruckman. Strong words. And we'd take a ruckman top 2. Dersma's been the one that everyone talks about, isn't it? That's the name. So we'll see. We'll have what to sort of player is he? Well, a very talented one, putting it mildly. Midfield, he might find his way forward, but he's going to present as a player who's that good scopy size and will clearly grow into his frame as well. So there's a lot of hype around him, and I get that. I do, because
Xavier's been in the system. He's bounced from Port to Essendon. Zane Dersma's, was a highly rated kid when North Melbourne took him, and like a lot of kids that go to North Melbourne, they seemingly lose their way and don't, fulfil their potential. So it's a big 2026 for young Dersma at North.
Does that matter at all that his brothers have come into the system, haven't exactly lit it up?
Oh, that's my sort of argument. It might not. It might matter absolutely little. But if the brothers have come in and have just shown themselves to be studs, I would have thought he's more appealing. But he's his own man. He's a young man forging a career and his own career, so you need to be respectful of that.
All right, so the Melbourne Cup will chat to Jamie Lovett very shortly. We've had a good chat about the race upcoming already this morning. So, of course, on Tuesday, only 6 days away from the Melbourne Cup, $6 about our Riffer, $6 about Half Yours, $7 Valiant King Buckaroo at $9, Presage Nocturne at $9. So you've said Buckaroo's none?
He won't be getting me.
Maidan at $13, One Smooth Operator at $15, Absurd at $18, and River of Stars also at $18.
It'd be great to have a chat to Jamie, get his take on this horse and how he's settled in over here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, he's on the line right now from Australian Bloodstock. Jamie Lovett joins us on the Sports Daily here in Perth. Jamie, thank you very much for your time and a good morning.
Morning, lads. How are you?
Going very, very well. How's El Rufa settled into life in Australia?
Yeah, look, the feedback's been great. Obviously, Joseph, he's not here yet. He's on his way to America for the Breeders' Cup, and then he'll fly into Australia on Monday. But talking to the lads at Werribee, he didn't lose any weight on the aircraft, and he's settled into Werribee. So far, so good.
Jamie, we just had a good chat prior to 7 o'clock with Paul Bloodworth, and he indicated, as I think we all are aware of, though, if you can get some rain on the day in the lead up to the day, it's going to suit your bloke's chances.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's quite a few on the same boat, to be fair. I think if you look at the first 6 or 7 in betting, Half Yours, Valiant King, Our Riffer, Buckaroo, Presage Nocturne, and even Maidan, they all love cutting the track. So I don't think there'll be any sort of distinct advantage to one horse, but I find most of those European horses enjoy some cut in the ground. But he's quite a big horse, Our Riffer, so I wouldn't have liked to see him on a rattling fast Flemington. So I think we're going to get the conditions to suit, so we won't have an excuse with regard to the ground.
Sitting back and watching all the form unfold over the last month or so, what are you thinking with your charge?
Look, well, obviously it's well documented. He's got to carry weight, which normally I'd say is near impossible, but I just think he's got that quality about him that'll give himself every chance. I don't think we've brought one down that's got the scope of works that he's got. He's a 3-time Group 1 winner in Europe, so not many horses have got that on their CV. And Mark rode him this morning out at Werribee, and he couldn't have been more had more praise for the horse. And obviously he goes out for his scans this morning, so we're obviously a bit holding your breath. But I don't suspect there'll be any problems there, and we'll drive into Tuesday.
Was he scanned prior to coming down under?
Yeah, he was, and he's squeaky clean. So I'm sort of, it doesn't hold any great fears, but obviously, look, we live in that world, and there's always a chance that things can change on these bone scans. So you're always a little bit guarded, but look, I'd be shocked, but then I wouldn't be shocked.
Yes. You're a fan of what the horses, not what they go through, but the protocols that you've got to go through to get your horse to the Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, look, I am. I mean, look, I sound like a hypocrite. Early days, I was a bit guarded by the way that it all played out, but I think fair play to Racing Victoria. I don't think we've ever been in a better space, and I was fortunate enough to be at Caulfield for the Caulfield Cup, and the crowd was huge. It's quite a young audience getting to the races these days, and they tell me ticket sales are off the charts for Flemington Cup week. So, we had that very awkward period, and, they talk about the social licence. It was becoming quite uncomfortable for participants and people like us that are in the industry. So they had to do something, and look, it's been a learning curve for all of us, but I think one of the comments was made to me not so recently that I think they've saved us from ourselves in many ways, and I think that the umpires, the final decision, and the umpires are the vets, and there's nobody better qualified. That if there is an issue that we're not aware of, I think we've all just got to adhere to that, and it's certainly changed it because the vibe around racing at the moment is fantastic. As not just Melbourne, but even you saw the Everest in Sydney, it's really sort of reached out to a new generation, and that's what we need.
Jamie, you know what it takes to win a Melbourne Cup. How does this bloke profile Al Riff? I know you mentioned that he's a 3-time Group 1 winner. Can he carry the weight? Can he do what not many other horses have done?
Look, again, historically, from a punting viewpoint or doing form leading into our Melbourne Cup, usually they're the first horses I pen. I say they can't win with the weight. But Gold Trip sort of taught me a little bit that class will carry a long way. Gold Trip wasn't a genuine 2-miler and he carried top weight. So normally I'd pot them, but I always felt that he just had the class. There wasn't any horses that year that would have run fourth in an arc, and obviously that was his profile. So this horse would profile with a better form reference than Gold Trip. So, and he's like, to see him, you'll see him in the mounting yard loads. He's just such an imposing big horse. He doesn't look like a typical Northern Hem horse. And Mark made that comment this morning when he rode him at Werribee. He's just a beautiful, big, athletic sort of horse. So the weight, you know, you can make a case that it's not as relevant with a big horse like that. And Mark will get around at 56, 57, so he'll only have sort of upwards of 2 kilos of lead in a small saddle. So all that's relevant. And he's just got class. So to answer your question, I'm very confident that if he gets the right run around, that he'll certainly be in the finish.
Have you planned anything for him post Melbourne Cup?
Look, when we purchased the horse, the clients that sort of the brief was to get a horse that we can go back to Europe with. He's not a horse that'll stay here. He's obviously got a very high rating, international rating. So after this Tuesday, handicaps are certainly out of play. So we'll then follow the big races internationally. Hong Kong may come too soon, but Joseph was very keen to take him to Hong Kong for the Vars. And then we're really keen to go Dubai World Cup night. There's a 2-mile race there at Meydan, which would be just ideal for a horse like him. There's even the Shima, which is 1.5 miles, which is worth crazy money. So that's the brief for him, and obviously he's got to keep racing up to a very high level to justify going there, but he's certainly shown previously that he travels well, and if he can perform well on Tuesday, that'll only encourage us to do that.
Jamie, you just mentioned Mark previously. We're clearly very proud of him over here, being a West Australian lad, and we've seen him dominate not only Melbourne racing but internationally as well. Your relationship with him and your assessment of him as a rider?
Look, he's obviously, in my view, he's world class. I think it's only in more recent time he's getting the accolades. I love putting Mark on, if you've got one good enough, that he'll take the ride when they get beyond 1.25 miles. I just think they seem to travel for him. You rarely see a horse sort of pull and run through the bridle when Mark rides them. He has a knack of getting a horse to settle, and when you're running a trip like a Melbourne Cup, that's the key. For me, he was the obvious. Obviously, young Dylan that won the St. Ledgers knows the horse well, so it wasn't easy to not bring him. But I think you only get one crack at these races, and I think Mark, for us, was the logical decision. And thankfully, we had the support of the owners that they were happy for Mark to ride him. So, I do think it's definitely an edge that we've got, because historically some of the horses over the years that have got poor rides in cups, it's cost them Melbourne Cups. I think I always reference Mark Schreider without a fight. He knocked us over when he got off Gold Trip to ride, and I think you wouldn't see a better ride in a staying race. If he can produce one of those and he's got the right horse under him, then it just gives you every chance to be in the finish.
Seems like it's a little bit, feels like more important at the moment, Jamie, to get these jockeys that ride here regularly as opposed to these fly-in, fly-out jockeys that might be just front of mind after what happened with Meydan in the Caulfield Cup. But it seems very invaluable to have those riders like a Mark Zahra jump on as opposed to bringing someone in from overseas. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, look, we're always learning in this game. And I actually, one of your men, Damien Oliver, I sat at a lunch with him a couple of years ago, and there was a horse I liked, was the international horse, and he had a fly-in jockey, and Ollie made that point. He said they just get it wrong because they don't. The Melbourne Cup's a different beast. you got to know who to follow, what horses to follow, what riders to follow, and he said they just historically get it wrong. So it always stuck in my mind when we've got a horse good enough from overseas to try and get start at the top and work your way down. And in my view, we're lucky enough we started at the top and we got Mark Zara. So hopefully it works out. A lot of those horses, I noticed J-Mac's gone on to Maidan, so sort of they've obviously gone with a local rider as well. So I think it's definitely, there's no doubt, the history of the race shows that the amount of times the Flying Boys have, Frankie's the one, isn't he? He's had, I don't know, 100 rides and he's been one of the best of all time, and he's still got it wrong a few times. So it's just a different race.
Few might be being generous, Jamie. Now,
calm down.
What's the one horse that worries you on Tuesday?
Oh, look, without sounding arrogant, I just think we've got the right horse. I'm more worried about the conditions and having luck in running and all the things that you need. I just think if everything goes right, I think he's clearly the best horse. You can make a case. Valiant King has had 2 hard-run races, and obviously the money's come for him. He's beat the handicapper. Chris has programmed him beautifully, so he's still got to get in with 51. So, but I don't think it was a vintage Caulfield Cup, and I just feel, I look at those horses. I think what price would they start in the St Ledger at the Curragh, and they wouldn't be in the market. So it's obviously, again, without sounding arrogant, I'm more worried about everything going right for us, and if it does, I just think he's the one to beat.
That's a good push. And now, can we just expand a little bit? Hopefully you don't have to run off anywhere. Jamie, we've kept you for a while. Thank you very much for your time. Where you said the vibe around Victorian racing at the moment's pretty good. Do you have a reason for that at the moment? And as a syndicator, are you noticing that with a younger generation maybe getting into horse ownership as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, fair play to Peter Valenti's with the Everest. That's been just a game changer. Probably gone full length now, where it's I don't think I think initially it was trying to be a 25 to 40 age demographic, but I think now it's a 18 to 21. It's just really been hit the spot there with the young people. And I think, look, the Caulfield, their meetings, the Guineas Day and Caulfield Cup Day, they've got sort of pop-up events during and after the race, and it's just getting people engaged. And, with that, we're finding a lot of these young guys are forming syndicates and coming into horses, and, a lot of young girls that they love their horses, they love their racing. And I think, getting back to RVL with the scanning and, not having those catastrophic injuries which cause so much harm and damage to the social licence. On Cup Day, it's been years, since they haven't, touch wood, there hasn't been an issue since they started doing the scans. So we've gone full circle, and I just feel that there's a really positive vibe. And again, crowd, I think the best barometer is bums on seats. And if you look at the crowds on Caulfield Cup Day, was huge this year. Like, it was just a real buzz on course. And I was talking to a few of the guys in advertising VRC. They're saying that the ticket sales, the hospitality, and everything's off the charts. Derby Day, Cup Day and Oaks Day. And I think now even at Stakes Day, the last day, is one of the best days racing. So I think they're in a pretty good spot.
Great to hear. Best of luck today with the scans, and fingers and toes crossed that goes well, and then clearly your horse stars on Tuesday as he should. Thanks very much, Jamie.
No, pleasure. Thank you.
Jamie Lovett there from Australian Bloodstock. I reckon that's us next year, Diggers.
Well, we won't be here.
Cup week. No, exactly. We'll have time.
Right. So we're going, are we?
Cup week. Well, you haven't been to Flemington.
No, I haven't.
That disgusts me.
Well,
I'm disgusted. I'm flabbergasted.
There's a lot of things that disgust you.
Well,
from my end.
Right here, right now, that's the biggest one.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Over some of the other things that I've done.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish.
There's not much else going on in my world at the moment, so I've got time to think about things.
Just wait a couple of weeks. You have more time to think. Oh dear, dear. Yeah, no, I need to get to Flemington. I know I've been to all the other tracks over there and I've loved them. I absolutely have loved them. The Caulfield Guineas Day of 18 when I was there, wonderful day. It was a special day, that one. I'll never ever forget it. And Moonee Valley being at Moonee Valley on Manikato Stakes night a few years ago now. Wonderful. But I haven't been to Flemington, so I apologise, TC, and I'm sorry that I've upset you as much as I have.
Someone that enjoys and loves racing as much as you, and you haven't been to a Cup week.
Well, I haven't been to a Cup week because I've never had time. We've been in this position.
Next year you'll have time.
Next year we have more than enough time.
Wave Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Welcome back to the Sports Daily. Taylor Cortland and Digby Beecham with you, Diggers. That text line's lit up.
Oh, no. What have I done?
Benny from Bunbury says, do yourself a favour, Diggers. Get to Flemington.
Yes, Benny.
It's like nothing else. Place is amazing.
Yes, no.
Couldn't agree more.
I know. I've got some friends, mutual friends, Taylor, who are heading over...
Friends are a strong word.
Acquaintances who are heading over tomorrow, I think, for Derby Day. I'm not sure the duration of their stay, but they go each and every year to Derby Day and swear by it.
The last time I got to a Derby Day was 2016. Long time ago now.
Who won that one?
Oh, jeez, no.
Don't you go to Google.
Oh, Come on. Google it. 2016, the Derby.
Years ago. Yeah.
Oh. No.
Had a big day, did you?
Yep. I think that was the year Flying Artie beat Extreme Choice in the Coolmore, though.
Oh, yes.
Or Coolmore.
He's having a run as a stallion at the moment. Flying Artie was a bit off for a stride, but he certainly surged back into contention, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. And
Flying Artie, yeah.
Used to go to the Moonee Valley on the Friday night before, so the first couple of races, Derby Day, you sort of just trying to get your bearings.
Start, is it not?
Used to get there, I reckon it was pre-9 a.m. to the races.
It was. Yeah, that is early.
I wouldn't be doing that now.
No, we're getting old. Well,
yeah,
speak for yourself.
I thought you were going to say immature, but no, wouldn't have thought so.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Gordon, not sure I should read it out, but I will. Next year they are running a new race, the Machete Cup.
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm not a wise man, but I don't understand how you can walk outside your front door with a machete. Maybe that's just me. You get your keys, your wallet, your phone, and you walk out and say, oh, where's my machete? Yep, here it is on the bench. I'll take that out the front.
No, can you just put that in the bin when you walk past?
What is that about?
Anyway. What's the world coming to?
But that was a really encouraging what Jamie had to say, Jamie Lovett, just prior to 7:30 about the vibe and the ticket sales, hospitality, everything for Cup Week. So really encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully the weather turns it on. The forecast is a little bit iffy at this stage, but we know that can change. Hopefully it does. Hopefully the forecast on Saturday here at Ascot's looking good. Michael Grantham will take a nice team to the races on Saturday. Joins us on the Sports Daily now. Mickey G, good morning to you.
Morning, TC and Diggs. How are you?
Very well, Mick. How are you?
Yeah, good. Just doing a drag of the track for our next the Gallup trip, and we'll be on with it again.
All right. Has Cosmic Crusader had his last piece of fast work yet ahead of Saturday?
Yeah, yep. Probably about an hour ago, I spun him down the straight, and he felt good, and he's I don't know how much sleep I'm going to get, but he feels well, and we're all sort of on track for Wednesday and going forward, to be honest.
What's he done since we last saw him at the races?
Just he had a bit of a let up.
Wave Tab Radio, your station of choice.
You there?
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh yep. No, he just obviously he's all seen him at the trials after that little let up he had, and he's ticked over everything nicely now at home, and that's all. Yeah, it's all he's done. He just kept in a good routine, and the same as his little girlfriend Love and War. They've all done the same thing. So just hopefully they put their best foot forward for Saturday, and just hope for the best.
Michael, can I ask you in your heart of hearts about Cosmic Crusader? Did you expect him to do what he did in those two runs last month?
I would lie if I didn't say the first one. I'd say, the first win I thought he was going well. But no way the second one. I know he drew a good barrier, and where he lobbed, I didn't expect him to run away the way he did, and probably have a fair bit left in hand. And it was probably just the best thing was after those two runs, he's pulled up great, and it sort of gave me a little bit more confidence going forward in how I could work him, and the more that I could give him. And he just had a really good base going into those runs. So, no, I didn't think he could do what he did, no.
Okay, so provided he goes there and he does what I dare say yourself, Bob and Sandra are hoping he does on the weekend, that will be it? You'll put him away until the railway?
I'd assume so. It's more just get through Saturday, and then, as you know, you either got to go to RJ or, you keep him tucked away to the big day. But yeah, I just assume whatever he does on Saturday, I guess we'd have the decision made up as soon as they went across the line, I'd say. But it'll be exciting.
Would you be shocked if Lovett won the Asian Bow Stakes on Saturday?
No, not the way she worked just before, to be honest with you. She's really come on for those couple of trials. And yeah, her work, I don't want to say it, but touch wood, we've had such a faultless preparation with her going into these runs. Last time I had so many mishaps with her, and we just never got to see the best of her. So we've basically got 72 hours to get her through to Saturday. But no, it would not shock me one bit, no.
Is she fully furnished now as this mare who we saw as a 3-year-old now? Is she at a physical peak as a 5-year-old, Mick?
Even Pat, he hasn't jumped on her since she was a 3-year-old, and he got to obviously see her at trials a month ago. Couldn't believe how much she had furnished out through her shoulders, and it's just a rump. She's just she's actually a very big and powerful mare now, and she's taken a lot more work to get the fat off her, if I should say, but it's just turned into muscle. So she's definitely developed, yeah.
All right. Does Hall Enough go to the races as well Saturday?
Yeah, we'll run him in that 15 grad. I guess it'll really tell us where we're at with him. If he potentially wins or, he runs a good race, well, hopefully we can go to, or miss a 3 for, obviously, and then, he could potentially go there. But we've got, obviously, Westbound and Streamlined for that race on that day. So it's just trying to split him. But if he does win or something on that grad, we'll be able to go through to the Guineas from there. I just hope he can. He's had a few runs this time and a sort of a long preparation, so I just hope he's not coming to the end of it.
Okay, you mentioned Streamlined and Westbound, so their next starts, will they...
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
They'll be nominated for the Threefer. I doubt they will potentially get a start. And then the same day, there's a mile grad on the same day, so they'll be nominated for that too, just to make sure we get a run. Okay,
Nikiana on the weekend, Mick, I'll put my hand up. I got it horribly wrong with this fellow. He took the quantum leap and he made a mess of his opposition, ran time, did everything like a really good horse would do. Where are we at with this bloke?
Same page as you. I have no idea. He's half a little turd behind the scenes. He's in the Coney. He's the same as First Beach. Obviously, they got a bit of bullish about him, and they're a little bit difficult to work with. He did a little bit over race the other day in town, and he also did at Northern. But I think that sort of tactical speed early, he can make his own luck. And as he balanced up, I guess I'm not sure how far he'll stretch out in distance-wise, but I think 14 mile might be an end-of-the-run preparation sort of race for him. But going forward now, he'll just go through his ratings races. But it was just a little bit disappointing because I did like him as a 3-year-old, and just every time I got anywhere with him, he kept going shin sore. So it might have been... it's definitely a blessing, but it would have been good to see him run as a 3-year-old in those feature ones for sure.
Right. How's Diamond Scene going, and when do we see him next?
The big bullfed. He'll go straight into the railway now. Okay. He's had a little freshen up here at home, and the boss said I could do whatever I wanted, just make sure that he was fresh and made sure that his mindset was fresh and first up for the railway. So he's left that in my hands, and he's obviously worked this week, and he had to because he was starting to run around his paddock, and he's not the brightest animal, so it's pretty scary to watch.
Fair enough. How did you walk away from Saturday? And it was a great day, great for Amy Jo, and we'll touch on that in a second, Michael. But First Encounter and Opportunistic, two potential headline acts. How did you assess their performances?
I'll start with First Encounter. It's sort of like, it probably sounds rude, but I'm just sick of every time he's always hitting the line, running fourth and fifths and thirds, and yeah, he's always the best one coming home. It's starting to get a little bit overwhelming. You know, the horse has a fairly big motor, and it's just so disappointing to see him not actually rattle and tick one off. But from here, we'll nominate him for the Apprentice Cup, the 2200, and Amy will ride him there. And Opportunistic, you know, he's blundering the starts a little bit, which he does, and probably being that 1400 metre race, which we all knew was going to be too short. But you know, he come again on the line, which was good, but they're sort of back to the drawing board now. We'll nominate for the Lucky Grey and the York Cup. I think the boss man sort of has a feeling the York Cup for him, and then obviously we'll just assess after that.
Amy Jo, how thrilled for her were you on Saturday?
It was good for her. She's working very hard behind the scenes. She copped a fair old spray from me that day she got suspended, because we'd been hounding her, and multiple hours on the mechanical horse and watching replays and just getting her in the mind frame of that sort of thing. And you could just see straight away on Exquisite Taste the difference in her gathering and, you know, driving the horse through the line. You know, she was a lot stronger. And then we'd been practicing a lot of rhythm with horses at home, just those more mindsets for her, and she got it perfect on Antique Star. I know that she was 3 wide, but she was just in a good rhythm, and she popped in and she popped out, and the horse was reasonably relaxed for her. But when she asked the horse for the effort, she had so much there because she never fought with it. But you know, the old Amy probably would have just taken off and raced around him, and it would have looked terrible. But she's definitely learning so much. It's probably very good for her and her mindset. Yeah.
Can Startling Star win today?
Yeah. I haven't actually told the boss man, but that was actually my blue there. I didn't realise she had 58.5, so Amy doesn't have a ride today, and she'd been riding, and she said, "Oh, how come I'm not on Startling Star?" And I said, "I actually have no idea. I'm sorry about that." But, yeah, she's obviously at the 2100 where I think she belongs. It'd probably be the end of her preparation, potentially. She's done a good job this prep, and, you know, it's probably more to see if she stays, and if she stays, she'll probably have, you know, a month or 2 off. This is only premature to say that, but yeah, I think she'll go well today in that field.
Michael, best of luck today, but more importantly, best of luck on Saturday. It's a big day for the stable. Go well.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me on.
There's Michael Grantham with a nice update, comprehensive wrap-up of his team and some of those key chances. You'd think Opportunistic heading towards a York Cup would be hard to beat.
Not many York Cup winners have won a Northerly. Have they? Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. But that's where the stable was hoping to head with him.
Might be a new form line.
Bob did throw that out on Saturday just gone. Where next? I think Lockie asked him the question. He said York Cup. And I thought, okay. But, look, he will also be nommed for the Lucky Grey. First Encounter you flagged yesterday, fresh into a railway.
Diamond Scene?
Sorry, Diamond Scene. So he's did I see he's a 101 rater now? So you'd think that would be sufficient to get him in and be on the minimum, 53, would he not?
Yes.
Let me just have a look here at Diamond Scene. I thought I saw he was 101 or something like that, correct?
106.
106 now. So he's gone from 101 to 106 with that win. So he is short of a spot in the railway, and that's important, because I think when we had Liam in here, trying to get as many, as all good yards do, as many as you can into the railway, and maybe it's hit a little bit of a hurdle with, say, an Opportunistic and a first encounter, but certainly Diamond Scene will make his presence felt off what he did fresh.
Yeah, well, I like that gap between runs between him. I'm not sure if he can win a railway, but he's got a turn of foot that he might be able to play a part late in that race. Fresh 1600.
Just a very good horse.
A winner.
Yeah, exactly right. And he looks like he's getting better and better each campaign, which is exciting.
I'm not sure if this man's getting better and better, especially after some of the stories we heard after the weekend at the Cox Plate. But Chris Gangemi joins us on the Sports Daily this morning. Chris, how are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Better than a couple of other boys, so we're going all right.
I've had some correspondence with one of those boys. He sounds wounded still.
Yeah, no, he's going to take a couple of weeks to get over this one, you reckon?
How are you, mate? You well?
Yeah, no, I'm good, mate. Back into it on Sunday when I got back, so straight back into it. And looking forward to a big Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah, well, what about repossession? How is he?
Yeah, really good. Touch wood, his feet have been pretty good. Obviously, we've got a few days to go, and he's sort of hard work sometimes, but thankfully this prep, he's been sound all prep. He's been able to have a good prep. With a nice trial a few weeks ago and a couple of serious gallops since, and his work yesterday was probably the best he's worked all prep. So, yeah, we're pretty excited going into Saturday with him.
You run headlong into Joker's Grin, but you knew that was going to be the case all the way out. I dare say you're looking forward to that challenge?
Yeah, obviously not expecting to beat him. Diggers is obviously a star and has trialled up brilliantly again, so it's not expecting to beat him. Obviously, we had Blake for age and meet it with the same weight, so ratings-wise, we're not in good at all, but nothing is against that horse. So, no, he's going to be very hard to beat, but we're also very excited to see how he goes against the best because we do have a big opinion of him, and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet.
How close to his top fitness-wise do you think you'll be going to the races?
Oh, he's not fully screwed down, mate, but he's fit enough to win over 1,000 metres if he gets the right run. So he's fit enough to run very well, but with a little bit of improvement left in him.
Okay, so as we've touched on, I think, a few times with you, Chris, it's business as usual in regards to the campaign and what's in store, provided he gets through Saturday unscathed?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully he can just stay sound for the next month or two, and if that's the case, then obviously we can go Prince of Wales, Colonel Reeves, and hopefully deserves the place in the winner bottom.
What are you thinking with Rock and Nori? Heads to the Asian Bow?
Yeah, I'd say so. We just whacked him in the Prince of Wales just in case that ended up a 5 or 6 horse field, but I think it's going to be a slightly bigger field than that. So obviously we'll probably stick at his suitable distance, which would be the 1,400, although he's going to run into a few horses, a few very smart horses heading to the railway. So obviously probably not a race he can win, although he did run very, very well last start. We'll wrap with his run last start. So probably not a race he can win, but hopefully he can run a cheeky race again. Talking
of horses that ran well last start, Rostislav was terrific in that 3-year-old classic over the 1,000, and we get to see him on Saturday in the Placid Arc Prelude. Has everything gone according to plan since we saw him fresh?
Yeah, he's had a good 3 weeks, Diggers. He hasn't missed any work, hasn't had any problems, so he's had another couple of good gallops. His fitness levels are much better now. Should have thought that probably just cost him first up, which we thought might be the case. He's sort of a big, gross horse that carries a bit of condition, so he probably had a fair bit of improvement coming out of that race, and he seems to have come on a lot. He had a good gallop yesterday, and Shooter said he drew a gate and got the right run on Saturday. He'd be right in the finish for sure. He's come on well since that run.
Have you made a decision on whether Calabrese runs?
No, he was nominated for 3 races trying to draw a gate and drew terribly in all 3. So we'll accept for one of them at scratching time. Not sure which one yet. We'll just see which race falls away the most. And then we'll actually nominate him for a Class 3 1,200 Melbourne Cup day as well. So that could be an option for him too if he happens to get a start next week and draw a barrier there.
Did you reach for the sick bag after he got beat first up with Black Aura zipping through in the manner that she did?
Yeah, when Geordie squeezed through that inside run, I must admit I thought he was home because we did like him. And then, Pikey's produced what Pikey does, and that horse let down unbelievable to beat him. So, it was a little bit sickening. We're on at a big price, but anyway, it was a good way to start the prep. He's a horse we thought had Saturday ability, and he showed that he did the other day. So, if he can get his manners right, hopefully he can go through the class of this prep.
Do you think Thank God can win today?
I think he has a chance. He's obviously in a race which there's a couple of horses there that have won races in, so he's eligible for a maiden, but from barrier 1 and getting to Belmont, I didn't mind his first 100 first up. I thought he got home okay after struggling to get around the bend a little bit. So I think Belmont will suit him, barrier 1 will suit him, and I think he's an extra chance.
Chris, great to have a chat to you this morning. We'll let you go. Best of luck on the weekend.
Good on you. Thanks, boys.
There's Chris Gangemi taking a look at the team heading there to Saturday, and then one chance today at Belmont. We'll take a quick break here on the Sports Daily.
Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
All right, the text line, just flabbergasted at you, Diggers. Really, is there overwhelming thoughts?
That's fair enough. So I cop that.
Mark from Vic Park. Now, I'll put my hand up. The computer's just played there. Jeff Miller's logged in remotely, and he's played a sting midway through Mickey G's interview.
So you're throwing Jeff under the bus.
Yeah, exactly right. I won't get the chance again, so I'll do it now.
Yep.
Here we go. Dymo from Wilson. I think this is right. Boys, if you're not on the first train out of Flinders Street Station to Flemington, no point going. I think that's exactly right. Yep. Get there nice and early, walk around, have a look around.
What time's the first train, Dymo? Or
would have been 8 o'clock, 8:30?
Jeff's walked in. I was between that and
Stop
me
playing
about
stings,
to
Jeff. We're on air.
We're on air. Not for much longer, but we're still on air. Off you go.
He's flabber. It's blasphemy.
Yeah, okay.
I think it was 8 or 8:30.
That's too early.
No, it's not.
No, well, you and Dymo are very much in the same...
It might be a bit early for me now. A bit older, can't back it up as much as well. Or at all.
I've seen you in full flight.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Good morning, Jason.
It was pre-twins. Brett.
Yes.
Morning, boys. I went to Mackay Davis' second cup the same year the big storm came in before the cup. Definitely one race to go to. That's right. The umbrellas blowing across the track, and it was mad. Was the race delayed? I can't remember if the race was delayed, but it was madness.
Wasn't there the Melbourne Cup? And it was 8-9 years ago, or maybe not, when it was just torrential rain, just like very Melbourne rain, and then track was drained well and good to go.
Yeah, I think that was that.
Was it then? Was it?
I think so.
Good. Gee whiz. Okay. Well, yeah. Well,
the old man was at Media Puzzles Melbourne Cup.
Media Puzzle.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah, very emotional. Very emotional that day.
Just quickly before we do get to the news, Jason from Swanview, I was in the members for Derby Day in 2015, won by Tarzino after flying to Melbourne for work. Mm-hmm. Absolute cracking day. I also did Moonee Valley the night before. I couldn't convince the boss that I had to stay for a few more days to get more work done so I could attend Cup Day and had to fly home on the Sunday.
Gold. Good stuff. Excellent.
I haven't stayed for the last Saturday before. I've never been.
Well, that would be one day that really piques the interest now, Champions Day, with all the best horses and jockeys there. It's a beauty.
Yep.
So, anyway. It's
well worth during the week.
Yeah, we'll do that next year, TC. We've got time on our hands.
Yep. Lock it in.
Done.
Overpass, half of the course. Overpass, it's 4 for 4 at Ascot. Wins another Winterbottom.
Today's midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi, the home of the Mitsubishi Triton. Drive away the 4x2 Triton for $33,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Thank you very much to the team at Morley Mitsubishi for sponsoring the preview. And, of course, all week, the Sports Daily is brought to you by the Gate Bar and Bistro. $49 tickets at thegatebarandbistro.com.au for their Melbourne Cup luncheon. $49. That's good value, Macca. Melbourne Cup Day, $49. You get a drink on arrival. You get a drink on arrival, a mystery bet, canapes, hot food station. Enjoy Cup Day outdoor in Perth's best beer garden. And there's a live band as well.
Fantastic.
It's nothing better than a good beer garden, is there?
Good bang for your buck, isn't it?
Oh, or a canapé. What's your favourite canapé, Darren?
Oh, canapés. In fact, I was listening to
Aaron
a commercial
Cheney, I reckon you
through. I think
yes.
we've got a commercial wrong there. It's canopies, they're saying on one of our commercials.
Oh, canopies.
But I always thought it was a canapé.
Canopies hang over your head, don't they?
They do. Exactly right.
Now, we've got Chanele Cooper on the line.
I haven't got a favourite, by the way. Look, what's...
Eat them all.
Canapé, I don't know.
Shrimp.
Whatever they're dishing up on the day. What about, is a spring roll and sweet chili sauce a canapé?
You've really branched out, haven't you?
Chanele
Showing
Cooper.
my cultural side there, Dix.
Chanele Cooper joins us on the midweek preview. Chanele, good morning to you. How's everything going?
Yeah, really good, yeah.
Great.
Travelling through the morning, good.
Good to hear. Chanele, now you were going to have 3 rides on the day, but Sentimental Belle has come out of the last, so that leaves you with 2 for Grant and Alana, and the first of them is probably the best of them, and that being Hassani in race 1. What are you thinking here, Chanele?
Yeah, I think he's definitely my best chance for the day. He's proved really good his last 2 starts, and I think he is the best horse in the race.
Okay, he's 14 back to 12, albeit he is, I think, 5 or 6 weeks between runs. Is that distance any concern to you today?
A little bit of one. Obviously, he's proved good at the 14, and dropping back in distance is never ideal, but, after a little freshen up, I think he should be able to handle it.
Hi, Shayne. Good morning to you. Given the fact that you take the ride this afternoon, do you have much to do with Hassani in any of its work, getting an understanding, getting a feel of this horse before you take your first ride on him this afternoon?
He's not generally my track work ride, but this week Alana made sure I had 2 or 3 sits on him, and I did his last bit of gallop, and so I got a bit of a feel for him, and he's travelling good. All
right. Now, what about River Angel, who you did trial back on the 20th of October? This mare is first up today in race 2, the Class 1 1200.
Yeah, her trial we just kept on the bit as the track was really wet and that, and she did okay in the trial, and she is first up 1200, so she's never been very good at settling. That's why she's been at the 1000, but this prep she's taken a really good big turnaround in her track work, and I think she should settle, no problem.
All right. So, Hassani, the best of your 2 today, as you flagged. What does the weekend look like, Chanele? Are you aware of what you've got upcoming?
I've got a few rides upcoming on Saturday, just the 2 at this minute. Good Yoga Pride would be my best of the 2.
Okay.
She's back off a little freshen up as well. Then I've managed to get Simple Living for Dan and Ben Pierce, so she'll also do a good chance.
All right. Good luck on Saturday and good luck today, Chanele.
Bit of rain out there this morning, TC, over the last hour or so. That's going to help Hassani's prospects, you would have to think, Chanele, when you look at the horse's good form from last campaign. Yeah,
a bit of giving the ground should suit him nicely, so it was quite bad. We had a bit of a shower this morning.
All right. Go well, Chanele. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
No, thank you, guys.
When it rains, Darren, you could use a canopy, couldn't you?
You definitely, as you eat your canapé, under your canopy.
Talking of that rain around, it would have suited Sentimental Belle, but she has come out of race 7, so there's a few scratchings on this card today, TC.
All right.
Kate Whitten, by the way, Kate Pateman won't be riding today. She's come off a couple of her mounts as well.
Kate Whitten won't either.
No, she won't be. No, she's co-training with Robbie.
That she is.
Come on, 1,200 metres. Pay one or
becoming
two.
very unhinged in the final stages, the death throes of our lovely station.
Yet.
I don't think it'll get better.
No, I can't imagine.
No.
I can't imagine.
We'll stick to form.
When we have to lay the beautiful Sports Daily to rest. I gave the station the breakfast show its name. You realise that, TC, when Gareth came over years ago.
Did you trademark it?
Well, I should have. I don't know if I have. I'll have to go back and look at my copyright legal agreement.
Take it. Maybe Sport FM will take it.
If I had one, I would.
Now, can I just give a little bit of a sports update before we get the markets for race 1? Sam Constas has been dismissed. He elected to let one go.
Oh,
did he?
And it crashed into middle and leg. So Sam Constas out for 10. So that follows hot on the heels of Jake Weatherald failing as well. So we wait and see what the composition of that test squad is going to look like, but you would think that Sam Constas is now up against it.
All right. Race number 1 today at Belmont, Tab Touch. Have you got the touch handicap at 3-year-olds? 1,200 metres, pay 1 and 2 with only the 7 starters, so we might as well go through this full field. Hassani opened at $2.90, now out to $3.60. Spirited Strike, $5.50 into $4. The Mover, Diamond Warrior, $6 into $3.20. Now your favourite with Tab Touch. Thank God's at $12. Tiger Tank, $19. Dominant Force, $16. Intoxicating, opened at $4.20, now out to $4.60. Might start with you, Diggers, race number 1.
Well, you mentioned Diamond Warrior being the well-supported runner here, TC.
You surprised by that, Diggs?
I thought there might be some money, but not the volume, because you go back to his 2-year-old form, and it was solid enough, and the return was good. Now, they ran decent enough time over the 1,300 metres fresh on the 8th of October, 1:17.38 for 3-year-old maidens at a 1,300 on a good track. I think that's
a perfect run.
Did, absolutely, but I don't mind the fact that 13 back to 12 here, and for my eye, or to my eye, Darren, looks like he's going to get a beautiful run.
What leads? Is it the other horse in the lime green and royal blue?
Quite possibly.
Tiger Tank?
Yeah, quite possibly. Barrier 4 comes out of that Kalgoorlie maiden when not disgrace behind Testaferro. That form has stacked up. There's a couple of horses here that have run behind Testaferro, one being Tiger Tank and then clearly Dominant Force as well, another one out of Neville's Yard. But I just thought Diamond Warrior with Brad in the saddle would get a beautiful passage.
Gee, I'm surprised. Really, I couldn't believe it when I saw 650 into 340. I went back and made sure I had another good look at that first up run. I thought it was a solid run. Did have an ideal trip throughout. What the volume of the backing again is, you have no idea. It's 650 into 340. I'm a little bit wary about all of that jump on board money early. It's more the markets, the following day that I think probably tell a far greater story of the betting because some of them are so far off the mark when you look at the horses that are backed and have been being backed. I'm just going to tread a bit warily in a race where Neville has 3 of the 7 runners. I think the quality is at the top. And it's one of the horses we've been speaking about in Hassani. And, I take your point there, back to 1,200 off a 6-week gap. But I think that the way this horse progressed off that first up run where he was very, very raw and then went bang, beat Fine Star, who won a next 2 starts.
Yes.
And then came out and won on a heavy 8 over 1,400 and beat Psalmtime Lucky, whose form had been terrific at that particular time. Barrier 2, down a kilo, bit of rain around this morning. I'm happy to go with Hassani at Belmont Park, where it's had 3 goes, the 2 wins. This is its track for the moment. Spirited Strike's the other one from Lou Luciani's yard, and Lou's got a pretty handy little team being brought up from Capel today. It got the job done at Northam in its maiden on soft ground, and then it went to a 1,200 at headquarters behind Vandula Jet. It took a bit of riding to come off the fence. I think it's still got some faults to sort out there. He's got a tendency to want to hang in a bit in his races. But, out of that race, you saw Think Pink Days come out and win on the weekend. So I think that's all the stronger form. Could be wrong here with Diamond Warrior, but I couldn't believe it. I took a second look. Head nearly spun off my shoulders, 650 into 340. Then 6 Dominant Force maybe. Next best, 1, 2, 3 and 6. But look, what the punters could have got it right. Who knows?
Look, I certainly wouldn't talk anyone out of backing Hassani, given he is chasing a 3rd win in a line, carries 58 after the claim. He's got a good racing pattern, and as Darren said, he won't be put off by a little bit of precipitation that we're seeing at the moment. So I just went the way of Diamond Warrior, thinking that this horse would take good benefit from that first up performance, gets a lovely run throughout here in a small field. It might be a tactical affair. Brad Parnham's as good as anyone when you get presented with races of that nature. 3 on top from 2, Spirited Strike. As Darren said, Lou's team's going along well. Chris won on this horse 2 starts ago, reunites today. 1 Hassani, obviously, and I think Intoxicating with William Pike going on, replacing the apprentice rider Jefferson Sang can come on. 3-2-1-7. Good competitive start to the day.
Hasn't that been an enhanced form line, Diggs?
Yeah.
Off that first up run behind Nikiana, who took a big step forward by winning the last on Saturday.
Massive step, and ran the clock as well on the weekend. It was a performance which I don't think anyone forecast, Nikiana, least of all myself. But terrific performance, and running 3rd to Nikiana, beaten 2 3/4 reads well for this race. 3-2-1-7.
3-2-1-7 for Diggers. Darren with 1, 2, 3 and 6, race number 1 at Belmont. So we touched on it a little bit earlier, but Scott Embry was a late scratching, so you won't hear his voice this morning.
Everything okay with Slippery?
He didn't say what the issue was, but he just said late scratching. There is a text message here about canapes as well.
Yeah. What is it?
Best ones are party pies and sausage rolls.
They're good.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Publican food.
Yep.
About 5 o'clock.
Yeah, common men.
down there with the salty chips and nuts.
Oh, nothing better.
Is that ideal? No good
salty
for your,
nuts.
It's no good for your raspberry, but it's a really nice way to spend a late part of the day. I did it for years, TC. Digs at the Ascot Inn. It was famous. Yeah, famous for about a 5 o'clock start. Stewie Dyke used to run the pub back in those days. And
every day?
Every racing man and his dog was in the front bar. But at 5 o'clock, I don't think it was every day, there were just copious amounts of pie and pasty, mini ones, out there on the bar with the chili chips. Had to be chili because clearly you have to drink more to, you know, hydrate yourself, Diggs. And we didn't know they were called canapes back then.
Canapes.
Diggs
likes to go to the pies when he's hungover.
We called it drink sopper.
Drink supper.
That's your hangover food, isn't it, Diggers? The pies?
Yeah. 600ml Coke, pies and hot chips.
Orange juice.
Yeah, and orange juice will work as well. Diet of champions. Anyway, let's move on.
Tis.
I think we're up to race 2. Share bets with Tab Touch Bet Loop Handicap, 1,200 metres. Again, pay 1 and 2 only, 7 starters. Boozak, 460 into 350. Sapito Express, 380 out to 420. Cryptic Joy, 480 to $5. Bird on a Wire, $12 into 9. Pygmalion, 360 to 380, pretty steady. River Angels, 550 out to $8.50. And Rubik's Love at $71, the outsider of the field. Darren, where do we start race number 2?
Well, as we mentioned, Lou's got a few horses here that have got undeniable claims, and I think that Pygmalion could well be the best of them. After getting the job done in its 1,100-metre maiden, where it did beat Salty Miss, who came out and then delivered a victory at her very next start. Then went into a far stronger race behind Just St. James and drew 9 of 11, and Jason Whiting had to take hold, drop back. He had no other option, forced to go back to the tail, and I thought that Pygmalion ran on very well. 34-3. I thought the last part of his gallop was very, very good, and I think here the extra 100, that gets him a tick. So I like the 3-year-olds. They're winning a lot of these races against the older horses right there at the very moment. Look, he might need an element of good fortune from the draw. It's a little tricky one, 7 of 7, but I think that he's got the ability to win this particular race. And I've landed on him, Diggs, Pygmalion for me, and the best.
Yeah, and the best as well.
Yeah, I'm going
fair
best.
enough. Yeah, look, he was terrific the other day, and now you look at his record and you go, well, he hasn't run at 1,200 metres. Well, the manner in which he attacked the line over the 1,100 the other day would suggest that the 1,200 is going to be perfect. Third up, nice and fit now. Yards going well. Horse racing well as well. You go back to those 2-year-old runs, you know, in the autumn. You look at it. On debut, second behind Schnitzelatte.
Correct.
And then second behind Elite Bow. Tick, big ticks. So, yep, I can certainly see where you're coming from. I'm a sucker for punishment, as you know, so I'm going to side up with Boozak.
Are you?
What are you hotting about?
Nothing.
Well,
I was reading something else.
No, you weren't. I thought the trial was good. No shades on in the trial. Got to the line nicely.
Didn't shoot the lights out, I didn't think, in the trial. But there again, as you've touched upon there, no shades.
Yeah, 60 kilos, small field. Does have a turn of foot and can settle handy.
He's 1 from 12. That's my concern.
Yeah, but you're right. The yard's going super. Lactar has a really good association with this horse.
Certainly does.
Look, there's not many horses in here that have shot the lights out, to be fair. Some very much in the early stages of their careers, but I just thought Boozak, off the back of that trial and from that gate, gets cups on today. He wasn't the worst way to go in what, again, is a competitive little race.
Mitch Pateman elected not to go to the Avon Valley on Sunday with Sapito Express, scratching the horse there that day, having its third run in the preparation. It's got the benefit of fitness going into it more and more. Tended to think that it was probably the danger to Pygmalion if I was going to pick one out that could roll my choice in the race. I went 5 from 2 Sapito Express, the fine star form, even before that at Bunbury, 3 grands ticking over really well in that class. 1 Boozak, and I'll put River Angel in, although it's just starting to get a bit shaky in the betting market there, but respect, of course, for the yard. 5, 2, 1 and 6.
Yeah, 1 Boozak on top from 5 Pygmalion, 3 Cryptic Joy. I know he was beaten out of sight the other day by Delta Sun, but low draw on the spin. and his best is capable of being competitive in a race of this nature. And 2, Serpedo Express, who could all intents and purposes, depending on what Chanele elects to do with River Angel, could find the top and give some cheek. 1, 5, 3 and 2.
1, 5, 3 and 2 for Diggers. Darren with 5, 2, 1 and 6. Asterix Pygmalion, the best of the day. Cryptic Joy, if he was able to repeat what he did first up last campaign, he'd be winning Saturday races.
I know.
Not sure what's happened there.
He's just, I think he's a horse who's got a little niggle or two.
All right, to race number 3 at Belmont. We'll skip through this one before we get to the traffic. MCA Polytrack Handicap, 1,000 metres, Class 3, pay 1 and 2 only. 7 starters at Coondle at $6. Sunlit Fresco at $6.50. Call of Duty at $8.50. Mag Nakash, $4.20 into $3.30. Long Service Leaf, the favourite at $2.60 currently, did open at $3.60. Olivia's Me Mama, $11. Hot Chatter, 100 to 1. Digby.
What do you do with Long Service Leaf, Darren? Was very good, winning that 3-year-old maiden over the 1,000 metres on the 24th of September, midway through this month. Went around at $1.55.
So what do you do from barrier 7 of 7? You can't get near the lead. For a start, you've got Sunlit Frisco in 2. You've got Olivia's Me Mama in 3. And you've got Coondle in 5, all drawn inside of you. I think Chris has got to just take some medicine here and go back, and then if there is a back to follow over the 1,000, maybe that's the best option. I don't think it can come out positively without being caught in no man's land.
There is some tempo here, you would think.
Oh, there's stacks.
Yeah, which might work in his favour.
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly the reason I've tipped Long Service Leaf. Yep. I think the harder they go, the better they'll like it there with this 3-year-old. Given the fact that it got the job done in that maiden for 3-year-olds first up and produced good numbers, overall time was very good. He went to a 12. It was a funny run race, wasn't it? It was sort of stop-start. Followed the leader in a race there where they went much slower than I'm sure Chris Parnham would have liked. And then he just got beaten to the punch there when the sprint went on. He's down 3 kilos. He's back to 1,000. I think if he can find a tail to follow, the horse has got ability. We saw that in the trials leading up to the debut victory. I think that he can make amends here, and I'm prepared to forgive that last start effort when he was a beaten $1.55 favourite. Some won't forgive. I think under those circumstances we might have to.
It would be no shock if he was to flood down the middle of the straight here at Belmont today and win.
No, absolutely.
Oryx runner, Magic Cash, Pike, fresh records, excellent.
Yeah, thought that the trial was good, had a bit of juice in the ground, tracked up on pace, thought he was held together, sat there deep going back in a run in July where he toughed it out really well to Earth God, had one other run, put him in the paddock after that. One thing about this mare is that she's very good first up, Diggs, as you can clearly see. 2 for 2, both on soft ground. We've got rain around here this morning. So one thing you know about her is that she'll hit the bullseye nice and early in the preparation. And you've mentioned it, Willie's on board. You've got a lovely low draw. Has to be very hard to beat. I think Coondle also comes into it. It's the one that tracked the rail throughout, didn't have to go around a horse. But gee, got beaten by a talented one.
Correct, yeah.
Elite Bow got him that day, and I thought he held his ground pretty well. Coondle's in the mix. He's always thereabouts in these type of races. Sunlit Fresco's coming out of 3 successive 66-plus races, back to a 54-plus Class 3. You'd think that this is going to be easier. You know it's going to jump, hit the bunny hard, barrier 2. It'll be there for a way. Might get a bit tired late. But I thought that 5, 1, 4, 2 might be the numbers here in the third.
I just sided up with Ike and William here, given this mare is lethal fresh. She's 2 for 2, and as you said, Darren, I don't mind the little bit of rain that is around. So she gets a soft draw. She'll just park behind that speed, you would think, and no one zaps them better than William. So 4 on top from 5, Long Service Leaf, expecting him to bounce back today. 1, Coondle, and 6, Olivia's Me Mama, who was very, very good behind Just St. James. We'll get a form reference guide earlier in the day. 4, 5, 1 and 6.
And Macca, you were with 5, 4, 1 and 2.
I was indeed.
All right, good. I was on the ball. So just that horse you tipped for 4th there, Diggers?
Olivia's Me Mama.
All right, beautiful. Just to clear that up for the listeners.
Then.
You're listening to the midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Well, hopefully as we get through the later part of this program, we'll be able to duck in tomorrow morning to Morley Mitsubishi, buy a new car on the back of your two gentlemen's tips.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad's our man.
Yeah,
Brad's our man. He'll be there with us on Saturday morning once again.
Yes, he will.
Yep.
Looking forward to that there. They're absolutely knocking the door down there at the moment. Buyers with their Triton specials and their Pajero specials. They're doing it all.
Yep.
Mitsubishi Morley.
Reinforce the doors too. Just keep getting bashed down.
They do.
12 and 13, scratched race number 4, Drummond Golf Maiden. It's over the 1,200 metres, 3:30 into 2:45. Marley Song is the favourite, $21 about rocking in Vegas. Guarantor $6. Going down the board looking for market movers. $4.60 Western Jet, pretty solid. Simon Miller on the program yesterday gave that horse a good push, expecting good things. Zali's Gift at $7.50, solid at that quote as well. And Kawara, number 10, $8 into $6.50. So a little bit of support there for the Neville Parnham runner.
Now, Darren, you were a little bit so-so about the trial of Busak. What did you make of the trial of the stablemate Marley's Song?
Good. Late,
Yep.
yeah. Sort of back out behind them early on in the trial, and I thought finished along nicely. He did run second to Jessalupa back there in June. Jessalupa came out the other day and was beaten 8 lengths in a maiden at Northam. I'm not quite sure what to do with Marley's Song. I think it's in the mix. It's certainly, I think, hard to beat. This is a difficult race. No push for me. This is an even maiden. And now that 3 Virgos has come out, we can see horses firming up and some of the values come out of it. For the one that I'm selecting anyway, and I'm no wiser for having tipped the horse. I'm just going to go for one that was around $9.50 early in the markets, and it's the Playing God filly Kawara.
Okay.
Just on the basis that the run here, beaten 3.5 to Heaven Specified, is actually a good run because it was off the course. The trial, it led, and it was beaten by Kazana, who came out and won out of that very trial. So I thought from barrier 3, it drops a click in the weights. Chris Sticks, I thought maybe at each way odds, you could have something on 10 Kawara without being bullish. As I say, it's an even race. Marley's Song definitely through the trial without a doubt there, and the fact that it has been placed at 3 of 3, you know that he'll get the line and he'll certainly be very competitive. Then you've got horses like Azali's Gift back into a maiden. It was caught up in a bit of that muddlingly run race, a blanket finish there, and I thought it held its own late. Guarantor's the other one that had very consistent form before a light break, and I think that form will probably hold as well. So 10 for me. It's still each way. You're looking at $6.50 over 1, 3, 8, somewhere in that order.
So your numbers again, Darren?
10, 1, 3, 8.
Yeah, same 4 for me, different order. I thought the trial of Marley's Song was good. Now, he did wear shades in the trial, had a bit of a checkered passage in the straight, couldn't get a crack at them late, was only beaten half a length. So barrier 5 again. We've seen this horse run around in Saturday company, and I'm just thinking a race of this nature coming back from that last campaign is pretty good form for. I didn't think it was a deep maiden, particularly with the scratching of 3 Virgos.
It's not a deep maiden.
So one Marley Song has been well found in the market, understandably so. I'm with you in regards to Zali's Gift. I thought that first up 4th, when sort of pushed around the corner and into clear air to make a run, was decent enough. Now, Testy Pharaoh won that race. Only beaten a length was Zali's Gift. This filly, Testy Pharaoh, ran 10th, I think it was, in the Belgravia, only beaten 2, a bit of a bunch finish, but he looks to be a horse with some upside, so that's decent enough form lines. And then I've gone the Neville Parnham pair, Guarantor, the 3 and 10 Kawara, but thinking Marley's Song can break through at start number 4 today, TC.
Numbers?
1, 8, 3 and 10.
1, 8, 3 and 10. That's to go with Macca's 10, 1, 3 and 8. Same numbers, a little bit of a different order. Race number 5 at Belmont, the Schweppes Handicap, Class 3, $16.50 the journey. Scratch 3 and 9. $3.90 did get out to as much as $4.40. I'm Crafty, $4.20 into $2.35. Summers Legacy. $3.70 out to $4 Shawler. Only just got out last time, but got the job done.
Yep.
And other one in single figure is Sideshow at $9.50. Did touch as much as $12, so a little bit of backing there. All right, Diggers, race number 5. How do we go here?
Well, I thought there was a beautiful sense of timing about the Bondi mare trained by Grant and Alana here, Darren. That being Summer's Legacy. 14, now gets to 16.50, and for the first time this time in gets the services of one William Pike.
Absolutely. Building into a win without a shadow of a doubt. Did Lucy have the call? Summer's Legacy, she's been on board both runs this prep.
She has.
She's been on Shawler, both outings this prep.
I would think that if William is making himself available, Grant and Alana are pretty keen to use, and that's not being disrespectful to Lucy, but no. I do not know the answer.
I think you're right in terms of this mare building towards a victory now that she's had a couple of those foundation runs so far at 14 and now stepping into a 1650. I think this is good territory now. I think that she's the way to go. What impressed me about Shawler the other day was going absolutely nowhere. So to be able to quicken off a step the way that Shawler did and claim a victory from what looked to be an absolute certain defeat, I thought was tremendous. Remarkable effort to be able to do what he did. Whether he does that again today and whether that's a flash in the pan with a rise to a Class 3, it remains to be seen. But I think it's the danger. I'm Crafty's got a lot of weight here, Diggs. Does drop back into a Class 3. It's going to be a bit more suitable, but 61.5. That's, a pretty reasonable horse's weight.
I think he deserves that weight. Clearly, he is a Class 3. But when you look at those runs, yes, he was successful first up and he beat Ukai, but then ran 8th, beaten 3 3/4 by an Asphalt. We saw what Asphalt did on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then Wembenyana, Max got this horse absolutely flying at the moment. Again, he was 8th, only beaten 2.5. So this is a really significant drop in grade for a horse of Crafty's ability levels, I would have thought.
It's definitely in the trifecta play.
Yep.
Sideshow, I thought, might be the other of them.
Yep.
I think the options drop away fairly significantly after that. Some may make a case for modelistic, but I'm definitely 2 over 5, 1 and 8.
2 me, Summer's Legacy from 1 on Crafty, 8 a Sideshow and 5 a Shawler. 2, 1, 8 and 5 in the 5th TC.
2, 1, 8 and a 5 for Diggers. Zamaka with 2, 5, 1 and 8. Again, same numbers in a little bit different order. Race number 6 at Belmont. Glenroy Chaff Handicap, 50-plus rated event over the 2,100 metres. 1 scratching, and that's number 12, Lead by Example. $2.40 the favourite, Startling Star. $2.80 into that $2.40 quote currently. $8 into $5.50 Dandy's Gems. $7 into 6 L Unique. $8.50 the drifter Zucchino out to $10. High Precision is another drifter. $6 out to $12. And Pretty Steady Salary Man around that $11 quote currently with Tab Touch. Startling Star gets the services of Clint Johnston Porter on Macca. Is it the way you were going?
Well, yes, he takes over from younger brother Zeph, and Startling Star is a horse, no doubt, that is bred to win a Group 1. But this is a far cry from that. It's an interesting one listening to Michael Grantham this morning suggesting that this could be her swan song run without being too premature in regards to it. So does that mean that she's tailing off? She's getting towards the end? Is that what we read into it or not? I think that she's certainly going to be very competitive. It's not a race I like. Zumachino is another one that could be building out of a maiden at Northam over 2,200. It's had a couple of runs now and it's improving with each and every run, no doubt. She hangs in there at each way odds. The one that they have back, Dandy's Gem, is the one that interests me. 8.50 into 5 it was. It's been knocking on the door. How much of an impact these blinkers will make on the mare today remains to be seen, but I'm going to roll the dice and say that it could be reasonably significant. I've just got a gut feeling about it, and I think the Dandy's Gem could be the way to go with Zumachino, Startling Star. So if the three of them just absolutely clear out, well then it won't come as a great shock. But they're my top 3. I've got more questions than answers for the race. I think that Salary Man is probably there somewhere around the mark with Max Stables going so well, but not with a great deal of conviction at all, Diggs, to be honest. 5-3-2-9 I've gone.
You've got a part owner behind you too, Darren.
And Salary Man, Sophie.
Yes,
birthday. Happy birthday to Sophie Stone as well, our producer.
Stoney's in the window.
Yeah,
28th birthday.
41.
Oh, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
How old do you think she is, TC?
Oh, no.
She won't mind.
You don't declare them
do
on air
No.
the age, do you?
No.
That's Cardinal sin.
Don't tell anyone on air that she's 34.
Okay. So I've high precision, absolutely none in this race. Market says no.
No.
Okay. Gee whiz.
Call me Market.
Oh, yeah. Am I off my head there, TC? You've done a little bit of form. High precision. Pycon replaces a junior rider.
Well, 3 out of 42 is not a big strike rate, Diggs.
No, but it is a 50 plus 2100, Darren.
Yeah, true.
So there's no McAullay Divas running around.
And it is Pike from a claiming apprentice.
Yeah. And look,
yes, it's got a great chance.
Thank you. I've got it on top 7. I think one of the better bets on the day. No, I'm actually thinking high precision here, albeit, granted, she is out the gate. I just thought the addition of Pike. Now, she does get to the 2100 metres today, and she's been in work a while, but she'll be rock hard fit. I suspect that William will ride her conservatively, and maybe, just maybe, she can run you a race at an each-way quote. From 2, Startling Start, you heard from Michael. CJP takes over. She's bred to be pretty good. 5, Dandy's Gem, Money On, Cups On, and 3, Zuma Chino, who got that maiden out of the way the other day and a bit of a slogging go at Northam. 7 each way from 2, 5 and 3.
7, 2, 5 and 3 for Diggers with an asterisk. And Darren with 5, 3, 2 and 9 in race number 6.
Without an asterisk.
Without an asterisk. Yes. All right, beautiful. Race number 7 on the program, 1400 metres, the Morley Growers Market Handicap. 60-plus rated event, 2 and 3 come out, as we've spoken about. Sentimental Bell out, Grand Reserve comes out as well. Well-supported Rain Line, Scott's Best, $3.80 into $2.50, $4.60 to $4.40 Sir Dream a lot, so pretty solid, not too much to make of that. $9.50 into $8 Mia Gusto, $11 into 9 Ishkur, $12 about Sparkle Corner, and then the next best in the market is at $19 Secret Identity. Diggers, how do we go?
Well, look, Rain Line, it was great to see a breakthrough for Dan and Ben and Danelle. William Pike jumped on last start, won that West Speed Platinum on the second day. Upon our return to Ascot, Darren, I made her the best of the day, the start prior at York. And as much as she wasn't beaten far by Pretty Divine, she was never, ever going to win that race. And I must admit, after that race, I thought, well, she might not win again.
Oh.
And then she goes there into town and salutes, and today she's very much in the market. Do you have her on top, Darren?
I do, because, well, I think one of the significant aspects to her victory last start was Pikey getting back on board, because he just seems to be the man, doesn't he? He's had, well, she's won 2 out of 13. He's been on board both times. He's had 4 rides on her, and outside of the 2 winning rides, he's been placed on her twice. So Rain Line is logically, I think, for me, the way to go in a pretty thin race, actually.
So you're saying she's a Pike horse?
Along with a whole conga line of other
88% of the animals in WA.
Horses too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's something we say without thinking these days, but that just goes with the territory with Willie. Wasn't he something else on the weekend?
Oh, he's been something else since
I know he has
Ascot,
been. Yeah, he has. He's just absolutely taken Ascot by the scruff of the neck, but he's riding on Sunday again at Northam.
Well, a day that he's dominated, isn't it? Northern Cup Day.
Loves the day.
But Wembanyama ride, you know, on opening day along the rail, and then the Black Aura. Like that was, she was impossible turning for home, Black Aura.
Just something about the way he keeps them in balance around that corner.
Yep.
Some of them hit that corner a little bit too hard. They can lose some balance. He just collides into it.
One thing with William you rarely see is him flush them around the corner. Always waits, balance up, and then from there it's like, okay, I've now got a horse under me which is ready to go. I'll chart a path.
And if you get beaten, well, bad luck, you got beaten either by bad luck or you got beaten on your merits. But that's what he does do. He just seems to be able to sit, and that patience, waiting, guiding, seeing runs before they're or about to eventuate, and then knowing that he has got enough horsepower underneath of him to give them a kick and then put them there and then see what happens after that. Normally what happens is always pretty good.
I think we get a lot lately without the whip too.
Yeah.
A lot of hands and heels.
He never has been a big stick rider, though. He's always been a strong mainly hands and heels rider.
One thing TC mentioned, it's right, he keeps them balanced. He keeps their head balanced. He holds on to it as long as he can. And he's very good also on horses when they're striking wet ground. Like he cuddles them as much as he can rather than sort of flops and falls all over them, which some jockeys can do. But no, he's next level, that we know. And when he gets back to Ascot, he just shines.
And confidence, when he has that confidence and he's in the zone, and it's almost a blinkered zone where he goes to when he's in this particular form. So wonderful to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, even from a broadcaster's point of view, I've got to say, and I've said this to many people over the years when I've been asked, who's the best jockey? Well, there's been lots and lots of very good jockeys that I've seen right here. Anyone better than Willie Pike? No. I was lucky enough to get the tail end of Frank Treen. And he does remind me in many, many ways of Treen's style and balance and reluctance to go for the stick, unless it was really the last call. I don't think I've seen too many better that give us more magic moments these days. He's got some good opposition out there and, some good riders in WA. But, Willie's just head and shoulders, I think, above anyone else I've seen.
Numbers in the last, Darren.
I'm going to go 11. Rain Line, because of that Pike factor again, and good to see it win, as you say, for the Pierces the other day. 10 Mi Augusto, 52.5. This has been a bit of a find for Greg Kersley's stable, and our broadcasting colleague here within the station, Richard Bell, a part owner, he'll be getting a thrill out of this one. So it's turned the corner, ran second to Pin Deep 2 starts ago, beaten a fair margin, came on a lot at 1,300 at its next start, the way that it finished off. I think that she'll go to 1,400 here, and she'll go very well with no weight on her back. 9-ish Kerr gets Lucy, senior rider this afternoon, little gear change, going well enough now in this field. That important scratching of Sentimental Bell opens up an opportunity for others, I think, and it could be Sir Dream a lot from a very much informed Josh Crispin yard that gets back into a 60-plus off the back of a Ron Sayers in Cal and a 66-plus to Black Aura. So I'm 11, 10, 9, 1. Diggs in the last.
Yeah, I'm with Rainline. I'll get back on board. The Rainline Express, expecting her to go back-to-back today with William in the saddle. From 9, Ishkur, for the reasons outlined. 10, Mi Augusto, exactly right, and 1, Sir Dreamalot. So it's very similar to yourself, Darren, but thinking Rainline can win again.
All right, 11, 9, 10 and 1 for Diggers. Darren with 11, 10, 9 and 1. We'll take a break. We'll come back shortly with the best bets.
You're listening to the midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Welcome back, and a big thank you once again to the team there at Morley Mitsubishi. All right, gentlemen, Darren McAullay, we'll start with you. Best bet, please.
Pygmalion, race 2, number 5.
Yeah, just the one.
That'll do.
Yep, all right.
My best, race 5, number 2, Summer's Legacy. I think third up today. She strikes a very winnable assignment.
Race 5, number 2. Do we have a play of the day?
I'll make mine, race 1, number 1, Hassani, into race 2, my best, Pygmalion, and then round it out in the last with 11, Rainline. We'll take a little 3-race multi.
Oh, all right. All wins.
Why not?
Yep. No, I'm just asking.
Yep.
Digby.
My play of the day, TC, is Summer's Legacy to win and Boo Sack to run top 2. He's $1.80 to run a place. I think he can run top 2. That is $4.23. So Boo Sack to place into Summer's Legacy to win.
Race Buzak is...
Race 2, number 1. Sorry. And my lay of the day, just because he sneaks in, Sapedo Express, who comes out of that Boosack race. I did have him in, I think, for 4th. He's $4.20 at the moment. I'll make him my lay.
Mine will be at 3.20 Diamond Warrior. Race 1. Let me say this, though, that I have been the reverse Mick the Mocker for some time now. Every one of my lays is winning, so there you go.
Well, so's mine. I had Nicky Arna as my lay. Scotty and I had Nicky Arna as our lay.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
Can I just give the Manning Bowling Club a quick plug there next Monday night? It's on again, TC. You've been there many times, of course. The very famous Melbourne Cup, Calcutta. Monday night, 5 o'clock, Challenger Avenue in beautiful downtown Manning, just up the road from where Tom used to live. And they'll be doing it again with their great food, their dinner service, their very, very modestly priced drinks, and a great bit of fun there with the Calcutta. Big pool always gets to, what do we get, over 30,000 as a rule, easily.
Never seen any of it.
So, things could change. We'll see you there Monday night, everyone. Manning Bowling Club, Melbourne Cup, Calcutta.
Beautiful. And, of course, the Gate Bar and Bistro.com.au, tickets for the Melbourne Cup luncheon there, $49. You get a canopy, a mystery bet, a drink on arrival, a hot food station, and enjoy Cup Day outdoors in Perth's best beer garden with tab facilities, Macca. I think you'll be busy that day.
Will be.
All right. Good calling today.
Cheers, mate.
Talk to you tomorrow, Diggers.
You will indeed.